Welcome, EquinEdge family, Oldy, the whole crew. It's a great day today, Oldy. It really is, because it's opening day at Keeneland. Derby is near. Got some Derby preps this weekend. Yep. Insanely good cards, to be honest with you, at Gulfstream Park in Keeneland both. Oldy, the last race at Keeneland just had an EquinEdge horse that won at 5-1 in the 2-year-old baby race, brother, which was a gift when EquinEdge had this horse at 9-5.
Yeah, not only 9-5, but top win percentage as well.
I only looked at the races for the show. Afternoon tea. Here's this horse. I mean, tell me about this. Like, I kind of caught it last minute.
Well, it's a Brissett horse. It, I believe it's a second-time starter. E was picking it up as the long shot. The question really for me was, is this horse going to make it in? So it's a Brissett second-time starter, was in the slop last time. I don't think it really liked the slop. It's a Speightstown, so, is going to like one turn and should be fast sprinting. 74 GSR at 7 furlongs. And then when you add that with the 29% win percentage, top win percentage by 14 points here. And that was a horse you had to use regardless of the price. But we got a gift pretty much because of the outside post there, where we got a 5-1 price there on Pratt riding for Brissett out there. So there were 2 4-star works in that as well, the 7 and the 2. 2 took a ton of money at 7%, was your top pick. And the 7 really didn't run. But, the 4 would be one to possibly put a note on, because that horse showed a lot of grit in battling and almost pulling that off at 16-1.
Yeah, I mean, this is wild, man. This is probably the bet of the day at Keeneland, to be honest. Like, I don't think you're going to find. Well, I guess we looked at the back half of the card. I will tell you, you're not going to find anything like this. You may not find anything like this the whole day, man. This is pretty wild. The crazy thing, you mentioned this horse, the top GSR for the horse was 7 furlongs. So, it's interesting there. The one thing, Oldy, I will say about 7 furlongs at Keeneland, the very inside here is very hard, I believe, if this still holds true at 7 furlongs, because there's a gap, and I'll have to watch the replay. And like the outside post can really flourish basically, because on sprints, whether it's on turf or dirt, we were talking about that before we got on. But I will tell you, like, that inside can be really brutal at 7 furlongs. It plays, I think, a little bit different, maybe. Like for the babies in the last race, and a lot of those horses on the inside can be really dangerous. I know a lot of people talk about the inside post, but I know specifically at 7 furlongs because the gap. So that's pretty wild. But let's cover race 3 for a minute, just because we just got here. Scott, welcome. Leslie, yeah, Scott, Bluegrass and the Wood. Joe, Bikes for Me. We're glad you're here, everybody. Let's talk about this race 3, Oldy. Give me your thoughts real quick as they approach the gate.
Yeah, so I agree with a lot of the stuff you have written there. The big pace advantage here. Scratches also helped here. I would toss the last on the turf. There was a huge GSR drop there. So that horse could easily, well, not easily, but could go gate to wire. What I did look up on this, and the reason I didn't use this horse on my early pick 5 ticket, was because the trainer was 0 for the dirt for first time with trainer, and 0% for for dirt to turf. I'm sorry, turf to dirt. So even though he wasn't the trainer last time out, so I don't know if that applies, but still. Also, the system's only picking it up at 7%. The 3 I thought was really interesting here. Last out winner showed more speed last time out and sat closer to the lead. And I think that's what it has to do here. It cannot drop back like it did 2 back. And if it does that, I think it could sit a perfect trip. The 6 is the other horse that I think is a contender. But I think on this track, if you look at the stats going 2 terms, it's really tough to be coming as far back as the 6 will be to win going 2 turns here.
Yeah, I thought the 9 was actually kind of an interesting horse, to be honest. Like this, yeah, I have no idea what I think this is a Roman's horse. Yeah, it is, which I never really, I just thought this horse, I thought the 4 Mustang Lady, they're about to go. We'll listen to it, Oldy, and can't show it everybody, but Mustang Lady I thought was interesting. This was, I thought a tough race. I did not play the early pick 5. I think the 1 will be dangerous though on the front end.
3 broke right with the 1, so the 1 did not get an easy lead.
The opening strides as well. Hey, you never know. Has the advantage though by a half length.
Steph, welcome. My girlfriend's saying hi.
Hi, Steph.
Toward the inside and third to save some ground around the first turn. East Shore stays out toward the center of the track. Forever Dixie between horses, and further back Chiquita Mosca trails right there with the rest, about 5 lengths from the front as they move midway on the first turn. Hey, you never know is the leader by a length. Comparative second a length. East Shore third up on the outside by a neck. And then Mustang Lady, Forever Dixie, Chiquita Mosca just to the outside of Condone and shuffled out to last. Opening quarter in 24.28 seconds. Up the backstretch they go.
This 9 horse is, I thought this horse was interesting as well as the long shot. We'll have to see if they have anything left.
The track is in third. Mustang Lady, fourth back toward
pretty ordinary pace going a mile in the 16th.
In fifth. Chiquita Mosca
4 sitting the trip, man. 9 done.
0.63 seconds.
See if the 3
first half mile
opens up or if the 1 pulls away.
Leads at 3/4 of a length. Comparative.
6 is coming.
Since the start, still second, now inches forward, closer second. And next separates the top 2 around that far turn. Forever Dixie.
1 seems in hand, though.
Still 3 from the front, though. Mustang Lady, fourth toward her inside. Mustang Lady now moves up third and neck. Further back, Condone is fifth.
1 going to open up now, man.
Hey, you never know. Leads it comparative. Comes at her again from the outside. Mustang Lady, Forever Dixie is right alongside of that one. Here's comparative with the final furlong right alongside.
1's going to be really game.
Hey, you never know to the inside. Comparative right alongside.
3's got it.
2.
Boom, that's my single. Let's go.
Comparative gets up to win it.
Let's go.
Second, Forever Dixie.
Nicely done, man.
Mustang Lady was fourth.
Yeah. It was 48%, 6-5. I mean, it's not like that was rocket science there.
Yeah, Sayas with Cox, they hit at 42%. I mean, that horse just was able to sit off the speed. Bunch of one-time, a big allowance. I mean, 110,000. This horse came from Fairgrounds. This is all about the shippers at Keeneland, Oldy.
We should make this comment our show testimonial.
Oh, best part. I love that, Anthony. That's great, man. Steven, welcome. Anthony, I'm glad that everybody's tuning in. It's great. It's Good Friday, man. Keeneland. Good Friday. Keeneland is here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one was, Daniel. The inside, man. 2 turns, speed.
Yep.
Inside going to be dangerous. Both those horses, right? You see it like inside dirt going 2 turns, very hard to close, right? You got to be close, Oldy. I think we were talking about this morning. You got to be within like 4-ish lengths of the lead on the dirt traditionally. You're going to have anomalies, but it's that's the Keeneland 2-turn dirt. All right. I don't know if we'll get Gulfstream race 4. Where are we at here? We might. All right. Let's hop over. We can watch this one, so that's good.
In this case, the classic Gulfstream post drag is going to work in our advantage today. I have a feeling.
I like it. What'd you like here?
Let me go to my notes here real fast.
You can get all. I thought the 1 would be tough. This horse is taking a lot of money.
Mm.
I liked a lot here, though. I did not play early. I just really handicapped this stuff just on, I thought the 3 Chaplin taking a ton of money, bet down from 10-1. This horse is really interesting. Second time starter, 12%, well, 13% to win, increases from last out, didn't run, but you get off the dirt on the turf sprint. The horse is bred on the turf, for a turf sprint at 5 furlongs. This horse, I think, is going to be dangerous. I didn't really like the 5 Cooler King. Horse isn't taking too much money.
Yeah.
Outside that, Oldy, I did think the first time starter 6 and 7 were a little bit interesting. It looks like the 6 is taking the 7's a second time starter. But what do you think here?
I thought the 6 was really interesting here as well. Fletcher obviously left this horse down here for a reason. As he starts to move his tack up to New York with the championship meet closed. So, he may have thought this was the spot.
Yeah, it's interesting that, you have this Fletcher to 6%er. I mean, Reyes rides, so it's, he uses Reyes probably this time of year. So, I mean, this horse is, as a first year is interesting. I mean, debuting in a maiden special like this. I'm surprised the 2 is even taking anywhere close to that much money.
And it's also, a turf sprint. So the other question is, if this gets 1 on the front end, I think that's the 3. I don't like the 5. I think the 5
I thought the 4 was also interesting, Oldy. I looked at this race. I thought both the 3 and 4 as prices. I dropped some notes, to our stretch run chat group. I thought both of these horses were interesting. 4 is only 4%, but Miggy rides here, 4 for 10 for Pompeii. She has 2 horses, both firsters, not amazing GSRs, but, I don't think this is an insanely tough race.
No, I agree.
I would not be surprised to see somebody blow up the board. I just didn't like the 5. I thought this horse was going to be vulnerable on the front end. I mean, it's 0 for 6. I was trying to look elsewhere. I think to your point, I think the 3 is going to run. I thought that horse was interesting as well. So I'm looking for an upset in the 3 or 4. We can turn it over to Mr. Pete.
From the rail. Cooler King going forward.
Back on the turf, Oldy.
And somebody 6 a job. Reyes. In the line goes Big Balloons. Now a job and Chaplin.
Nicely done there, Robert.
Chaplin sports the Gatsis stable colors.
That's a good ticket, Robert. That's how you got to play Keeneland, man. Just play your opinions.
And a job, little Skippy waiting his turn behind the gate. Rainbow 6 hit yesterday for over 40,000. 44,000 in the pool today.
I didn't hear that.
Me either. But I was
working with Chaplin
at the Sears Tower until like 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So.
Maptitude, and then on the outside is Jataros.
David, welcome.
Jataros going up.
Gulfstream, then we'll be back to Keeneland.
Ready for action. And they're off. The Compass Man was last to break and shuffled hard.
Oh,
to
that
the back.
one got
good start inside for Chaplin. Outside, Jataros from between them. Cooler King. These 3 across the course. Little Skippy. He runs into 4th with Big Balloons alongside. Out the back early are a job in the Compass Man. And Maptitude is last as they swing to the far turn. Jataros and Chaplin continue to spar.
Gonna get a
tight for an inside running Big Balloon who tries to hold rail ground from Cooler King, who's up and by
coming back.
Little
Maybe
Skippy
he can,
watching the embattled horses well about 5 lengths behind. Then the Compass Man and Maptitude with a job at the back as they run to the top of the stretch. On the outside, Jataros toward the rail. It's Chapton. These two off the corner. 2.5 better than Cooler King. Then Little Skippy. There's an 1/8 of a mile to go. Jataros has a narrow lead, but Cooler King begins to finish up down the center. Here comes Cooler King. Chaplin back for a bit more. Chaplin and Cooler King. Cooler King in front. Cooler King Gonzalez going away for his second victory on the day from Chaplin second, Jataros third. A Jobs and a Forto for fourth with Little Skippy, 57 flat.
Little Skippy, that's a 7. Hold on. I gotta reorganize I got all these tabs open, y'all. All right. Aqueduct race 3. We got Keeneland race 4, Oldy. So we're not even to the pick 5 yet, which is awesome. Oldy, it's probably one of my best bets of the day here. My only problem is the horse is in just kind of a brutal post, to be honest. But on Keeneland 4th race, the 12-horse beatbox is going to be 100% run a great race, in my opinion. It is a tough post, but I still think this horse with Gaffleon is going to run well. Horse is bet down to 11-1 from a 20-1. Not surprising with EquinEdge. But what were your thoughts here?
Yeah, so I thought this, the 12 was a horse I used mainly because it was something you liked there. I did not see it. I thought this was a pretty wide open race. So I used here the 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12. And I mentioned the 10 earlier. I thought the 10 could sit a trip here possibly. Is a horse that can run on the lead, but I don't think will here. I'm hoping won't. The 4 I thought was really interesting for Ward here. Not your typical Ward front running horse. I think class-wise, Tiz the Bomb might be a level above everybody else here. And, I felt that maybe Tiz the Bomb wins here. And this is just the right spot for that horse.
Oldy, on this, don't leave Tiz the Bomb yet, because I looked at this horse. That's why I love Keeneland. You see so much crazy, just like shippers and like all these, and they're so competitive races, right? So we see these great horses that aim and point for Keeneland. My question for Ken McPeak would be like, why did you not send this horse to Turfway Park, and why did you send this horse to Fairgrounds? And dropping grade 3 and grade 2, when Oldy, this horse ran in that stakes race last year and then won the Jeff Ruby Stakes, and this horse loves Tapeta. Look at the GSR, right? So that's my comment on Tiz the Bomb. Like, they should have sent this horse over to Turfway Park.
Well, they also, if you look, they're trying to get speed out of this horse, or at least they have been. And this isn't a fast horse. So they're putting the horse out of position, and I think this might just be the soft spot for this horse. Top SOR.
Yeah.
There's pace in here for it to run into. And I didn't love the workout report on the 7, but the 7's pretty classy. Gets DeTore back, who has ridden this horse overseas. So I thought that was an interesting angle as well there on the 7. And then the last horse I added was the 6. It's currently sitting at 25-1, but I feel like should be 4 or 5-1 here. Missed by 4 lengths in a grade 3. Has won at this distance in a non-graded stakes race. Been close against 70s, which is what this is. This horse could be super, super sneaky here.
Yeah, I also thought the 9 Grays Creek, the EquinEdge long shot, outside. I really like the 12. I mean, if that horse, so on the turf, right, inside post is going to be brutal because it's up and down on the back stretch. It is Irad riding on the front end here, but it could be a tough trip. It'll be interesting what happens with Fancy Liquor, but the 9 horse, I like horses that, You know, you can be on the front, but I don't like him on the inside. You can be on the front. I don't care. I just don't want to be up against the rail on the turf course. So, you know, the 12 and the 9 are, for me, these horses to just close with the rush. And the 9's got a better post than the 12. The horse is not taking any money. It's 31-1. I am betting that horse all day. It is coming over from Turfway Park, and that traditionally doesn't necessarily do well at Keeneland. That is true. But this horse is working well, and I love that it's the EquinEdge long shot. Corrales rides for Paulo Lobo. So, you know, this horse is predominantly, was raced over on the turf, but then raced on the Tapeta over at Turfway Park and won. But you go back, and, I mean, this horse has raced at Keeneland before, you know, similar time frame, raced last April. But what I like, you know, had a couple of races here, gets a short layoff, still working well. I just think this is prime in this sequence for the bomb. You know, and this horse is going to sit a great trip from that post, similar to, I think, your point on the 8, you know, may just be better. And both, you know, these horses all have great posts here, right, Oldy? The 6, 7, 8, 9, they're all going to sit great trips.
No, I agree. And I also think, you know, my thing on the 9 is I think that if the 9 was any good, you know, if it could still run, I should say, not if it's any good. But if it can still run, it's a 7-year-old horse here. And it used to be with Chad Brown. Chad Brown doesn't give up on good horses.
Yeah.
It looks like as a 5-year-old, it was transferred to Lobo. He tried to run it in a graded stakes. And then it's, you know, run a couple races a year, but he hasn't really been able to stay. He probably hasn't been able to stay healthy, or it's an older horse and it needs longer layoffs.
Which, the only thing I would say to that is the horse has been doing fine. I like that they give it a little small breather here. Yeah, it's working well per the work report. So, you know, I think he's done a great job with this horse, the Oldie. I think to your point, there's probably a little bit of problems here, but, you know, he's been able to get this horse. And again, I mean, it's won 2 out of the last 4 races. It didn't necessarily, you know, it did not run last out, you know, but also, like, I would rather see this horse get back to the turf, to be honest. I think at Keeneland, going to get a great trip. It's going to be a good race, man. This is probably one of my most exciting races of the day, just because I thought the 9 and 12, for me, were both great bets. The 12 is a brutal post, Oldie. If the 12 was not in that post, I would have singled this horse on all types of tickets. I really like this horse today, so we'll see.
Well, we'll see on that. I really thought that horse prefers synthetic, but we'll see for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's been on the synthetic and on the.
I hope you're right, though. It's 10-1 and it's on my ticket. So
yeah.
I mean, would I prefer the 10 at 31-1 or the 6 at 22-1, of course, but you know. I
love that Gaff rides here, to be honest. And Oldie, so part of another play here, you know this. For anybody who's playing Keeneland, doesn't know, Keeneland has a in today's work report. So if you go on to the Horseman page, you got to kind of navigate around, and you can find a work report there, and it only really highlights a very select number of horses that show up on that, you know, and there's a reason for that. You know, you can have a whole work report and you got to figure out how to use it, but a lot of times horses that appear on there are very live. So that was a little bit of an angle I had here. I liked some other stuff too as well. I love the morning line, you know, the difference. I love that Gaff Leon gets on. I actually think this horse can get a really good trip from the outside post. I think it's going to be highly dependent probably upon the pace, but I think somebody's going to close here. Yeah. The 3-horse Kentucky Ghost, 4% win. I have it's dropping in SOR. It won 4 back in a 68. So Vicky Oliver, Bejarano rides. I mean, there's a morning line angle there too, which you like to see. You know, I didn't. I think it's a very competitive race. I think this horse may just not quite fit still, in my opinion. it did win a 70 way back here, at Monmouth, so much different competition. It did win, though. I guess, from that standpoint, Oldy, this horse did win at Keeneland last fall. So,
I mean, it's possible for sure. I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility, but it does also look like Oliver and Bejarano aren't all that successful when they pair together. So she's a 13% trainer, he's a 12% jockey, and they win at a 10% clip.
Yeah, good point, to be honest. I mean, that's a good thing to see there. I mean, less than both of them. I actually, it's funny you said that. I remember seeing this. I didn't note it, and I'm like, hey, that's your go-to rider, and the win percent is less than both of them. And I'm like, not a good combo, to be honest.
And I feel like on big days she uses Saez, and Saez is riding another horse here. I don't know if he had the choice between the two, or he's riding a horse that's sitting at 21-1. So if he chose that horse over this one, then that might tell you something too.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. K Reed, that's my guess of what the plan with Fancy Liquor is going to be. Great name on the horse, but
yeah,
I mean, the only thing I would say, I mean, it is really brutal to be on the inside like that. So I don't know. I mean, if somebody else clears, I guess he'll try to rate. But when I look at this horse, Oldy, I got to imagine that this horse wants to win on the lead.
And it's another Turfway shipper too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm just not a fan because I think they're going to go too fast would be my comment. I think in my opinion, I think the 10 is going to press. The 11 actually would have as well, and that horse gets scratched. So that might help a little bit. And Oldy, I know you think the 10 might try to rate. So I just think it's going to have a kind of a brutal trip on the inside. It's going to be a little bit tough. I don't know how slow of fractions he's going to set. And I didn't see this horse as just an amazing player here, but it is Irad, and I mean, this horse has won on the lead fairly easily, so it could happen.
Yeah. Do you want to talk Gulfstream late pick 5, because we have a little time?
Yeah,
before here, and we won't when we get to once we get past Keeneland.
Yep, let's do it. This is your ticket, Oldy. So why don't you start us off? Because I'm gonna make mine as you talk about this for a minute.
Okay. So first leg, you have the 8 and the 2 who are inverted, if you will, for between being the top 2 choices and the top win percentage. So the 2 is the top win percentage, the 8's the top E pick, the other one's second here. 51, both match in the SOR. 3, the long shots, your top GSR, also has the morning line angle of being 8-1 on the morning line and 9-2 on the E morning line at 10%. You got to pay attention when you see long shots with nice win percentages. This horse has beaten 60s in the past. This is a 54 and it's dropping into here. So the 3 is also your top SOR horse here. So there's a lot pointing to the 3 as a possibility, besides the 2 and the 8 being the top 2 wins and the top 2 E picks. And then the 5 also, even though this horse is 2 for 19, looks like it could get an easy lead on the synthetic, or it might battle the 3 here and set up for the 8. But the 5 was an interesting horse as well because of the SOR and the drop here. So the 5, I think 100% needs the lead, where the 3 does not. The 3's shown it can rate. So a couple thoughts on the first leg. There were, I really didn't like the 1 coming from the rail. I thought that that horse had beaten weaker and is taking a big class step up. The 4 I did was a toss for me at 2 for 27. And the 6 and 7 were tosses as well.
Leslie, what are you talking Keeneland? Or are you talking Gulfstream? I guess you're talking Keeneland, but you can confirm for me. We can try to jump back. There's 6 minutes. I don't know if we'll have time, but let me know and we can try to come back.
I'll go as fast as I can through this.
Say again, Oldy?
Said I'll go as fast as I can through this.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah. You're single alley-oop Johnny in the next. I thought Nerves of Steel, Oldy, was really interesting here. Has Reyes riding for Brandon Walsh, 22%. So I get your single here. This is a situation where I thought the 4 was interesting too, but that horse burned some money.
Yeah.
I might sneeze. Sorry. I looked at potentially singling the 5 here against the 3, but tell me about your single to 3.
Yeah, so I just think the 3 is going to sit the trip here. It's going to sit right off the one who's going to do the dirty work and pounce when it goes from home, dropping a little in SOR. It seems to run pretty much every time out on the turf. Seems to fit here. Also 40% top GSR. So there's a bunch of matches here in terms of the algorithms. The other horse I liked here, I did not like your 5. I liked the 4. Looking at its back turf races, if you look back to 2022, you'll see some turf races here that I think might be good enough, and the horse is tactical. If there's a pace breakdown, this horse could sit a better trip and has been running against better on synthetic. I'm not positive it's the same horse it was when it won those turf races, and that was the deciding factor for me, was the form of the 3 versus the form of the 4.
Yeah, I agree with you on the 4. That's why I very similar comments, but I saw, I think on alley-oop Johnny, right? This horse can rate. So I think you talked about the win percent increases massively, third off the layoff. I think this horse is going to be tough. I think that the 1's going to be fast. I don't think the 1 has any shot here. I think somebody could set the trip, and I think in your, in your opinion, it's the 3, and I get it. Nerves of Steel, this would probably be where I would single. I don't know. I need to keep looking. I mean, this horse won last out in a 56, so it's going to have to step back up, but it did not race well, over in California, which I like to see, comes from Bill Spar. Brandon Walsh gets a hold, doesn't run in a 64. That's okay. Comes on the rail, wins kind of stock rating off the pace there at 11% and then doubles up to 22. So
yeah,
I love the angle, Oldy, of like the trainer switch, didn't run, but then comes back and wins, right? And drops in class. And then Walsh says, hey, we got this horse, probably private purchase, and says, hey, we're not going back in for a claim. Somebody had their option to do it, and then drops in the starter optional. So I thought it was a little bit sneaky, to be honest, because, whatever reason they picked this horse up and he's been able to get the win, which this horse hadn't won, right, in nearly a year.
Yeah.
But and you could say, well, what happened here? It's been racing versus tougher. My thought is like this horse still has something, and Brendan Walsh can potentially turn it around. So that was my opinion.
Well, and that's what you would expect to see when somebody's going from a 3% trainer, to a well-known trainer. So
yeah.
Even though I'm surprised Brandon Walsh was only 13%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. That's fairly low. What? So, Oldy, we have Gulfstream. Is this? Oh, this is the pick 5. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then you're 1, 4, 6, 8. Tell me a little bit here.
Well, it's synthetic, so I didn't just want to take the horses on the front end. The 6, I think, has a chance to go gate to wire. The 4 has a chance to sit the trip. Then I thought the 1 and the 8. So I like the 5 who scratched out of this. I'll add that as well. But I thought the 1 and 8 were the best of the horses that are coming late.
Yeah, I'm 1, 4, 6, 7 here. I didn't love the 8. I added the 7. The 5 was that Fletcher horse. So I agree. It was fairly interesting.
Yeah, no, and I think the 1 actually beat 48s and then hasn't, went to turf, went to dirt, and now is coming back to synthetic. So I think the 1's super, super interesting here.
Yeah, I agree. All right, the next. I thought the 1 was really interesting in the next race. This horse might wire the field, but I think there's some others. I thought the 3 was interesting as well. The 8 I thought was interesting. I didn't necessarily like the 5, but I spread a little bit here. I think you did too, Oldy.
Yep. Yeah, I'm 1, 3 through 5, 8. There's really, this is a speedball race. There's not a lot of horses here who can rate or who have late pace, even if they could rate. So, for me, I had to spread with the ones that I thought could have a chance here. Maybe the 6 you add here as well, because that horse could have a chance if there's a pace meltdown. But I really like the 3. I think the 3 is really interesting, and I really like the 5 as well, the top pick. So this was one of those where the win percentages and the picks did not match up either.
Yeah. All right, last leg, 3, 4, 8, 9. Then we'll jump to Keeneland. For you, this is a brutal race, to be honest. Yeah. You got a lot of horses that can't win. It's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, these are all the horses that don't want to win, that like finishing second. I just can't see the 2 having enough gas moving back up in SOR to 40 to get home, even if it gets the lead. But that's a horse I didn't use. That's possible. I thought the 3 was really interesting on the drop. The 4, actually has won a race, but was DQ'd. So I always try to put that up, and we're going off at Keeneland here.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. All right. Yeah. 4th race. I love the 9 and 12. Oldy, what horses do you have in your pick 5?
I have 4, 6 through 8, 10, 12.
4, 6 through 8, 10, 12. All right, man. Good luck.
Thank you, man.
It's gonna be interesting sequence. Sorry, Leslie, we didn't get back to it. We will cover more Keeneland though. And we'll give some horizontals and get to it. I like the 9 and 12. I was trying to look real quick. The 6th race, I think this 8 horse is gonna get beat. I think this pick 3 is gonna pay really big, Oldy.
Yeah, no, I think so. I didn't like the 2 here, who I believe is the second choice.
And they're off.
1 broke like we'd expect.
There's Fancy Liquor from the inside. Henley's Joy.
Look, he don't want anything to do on the rail, man.
Yeah.
There goes the 10. He'll move over.
But that's fine at this point. If it sets it up for another one of my horses, that's fine.
Rail from that inside starting spot
and make sure that the 1 gets used.
Second by 2 lengths. Camp Hope against the rail.
I love what Gaffleon did on the 12.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Lucky goes to 6 toward the
7 sitting pretty good.
7th alongside that one, 7 lengths off the lead, a gap of nearly 3 more back to Eons. In
now,
the
2 went off as the favorite.
The rail in 9th.
Yeah, I've seen that.
10th, and Duke of Hazard last of the 11, 22.52 seconds to time for the opening quarter. Midpoint of the backstretch, Fancy Liquor against the rail leads it by just a half length, and Hosier is there in second on the outside, a length and a half. Back to Camp Hope in third by just a neck, and then comes Beatbox on the outside. First half went in 46.14 seconds. So on to the final turn they go. Fancy Liquor leads it by a half length. Hosier second, a length and a half. Beatbox tries to take third, moves up on the outside of Camp Hope, who's looking for more running room. Hurricane Dream, 5 lengths off the lead, tries to angle toward the outside in 5th. Kentucky
9's wide.
On 7th, Grays Creek is in 8th. Henley's in traffic.
Beautiful turf course. Here comes the 9, man.
Camp Hope tries to come up the inside. Hurricane Dream on the outside. Kentucky Ghost needs running room. Grace Creek.
Come on, 9.
Come on, 4, get up.
4 is running, man. 7 gonna win.
And instantly opens up by 3. Duke of Hazard is running from far back to challenge for second. But
and that horse was not working well.
Freaky Dettori. It's going to be close for
But
second.
that was the horse I mentioned to you that Dettori had ridden in Europe.
Oh, the 7. It's top EquinEdge pick.
Yeah. Top
Look at
win
this.
percentage, I think.
2 horse took a boatload of money, man. That's pretty wild.
Well, you can thank the computer-assisted wagers for that because it was second choice when they entered the gate. From what I saw.
7 horse, they went way too fast. 12 was way too close to the lead. 1, it's just like, I mean, the one that was second or the 4 did?
Yeah, no, the 1 got second.
Yeah, I was able to hold on, but perfect ride by Dettori. All right, we got Gulfstream only.
Yeah. Pay lag. Next up at Keeneland, but you know, not going to pay huge.
There's that's your ticket, right?
Yeah. What have you got now?
Yeah, I'll show you. I'm singling against your 3, so we're going to be 3 versus 5.
That's always a fun little competition.
I know, I like it. Yeah, that's mine. I always like singling EquinEdge long shot. You know, I think fairly similar on. I tried to narrow on race 8. I think was one of the bigger things, and I spread more here in the first race. I think that last race is just a brutal race. I wouldn't be surprised though to see one of those horses finally break its maiden. Though is the one thing I would say.
Well, technically, the 4 has already done it.
Yeah, is that the horse that got DQ'd?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. We will see. Yeah, that's mine. I like this 5 horse. I think it's going to sit a good trip. This last race, man, is just brutal, though.
Yeah. I
4's earned a bunch of money. I mean, I think the 6 has a shot. I think the 7 at 2% is just kind of a wild card. I don't know if that horse can win, but to me, I thought the 9 was the most interesting, and this horse is 0 for 16. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it win today, Oldy.
So I'm actually surprised you're not using the long shot here, because normally you're yelling at me in a maiden race.
All right, I added it because I just saw that.
I saw you actually X'd it out there. So
I don't know if I'm actually have time, man.
I think you got time. Let's see where we are here.
Nope.
Off?
Yep.
Oh, we are, yeah.
It is Toretto from second. Away racing third, 40 Flash. Down at the rail, it's Banker's Hours. Angling is Golden Soda, racing ahead of Neophyte. Then back to Strong again, and out the back early. That early trailer.
Going way too fast.
Half a mile from the finish. The pace is quick. It's Toretto on the outside. Brits Candyman toward the rail. They continue to spar. They have 3.5 lengths on Banker's Hours, who's now third. 40 Flash is now fourth. Improving toward the outside. Here's Neophyte. He's up into a 5th position. And now at the inside, it's Golden Soda. Golden Soda's getting a good toe into the race, but he's going to have traffic trouble here in a second as they run to the top of the stretch. Toretto is in front toward the inside. Brits Candyman. Golden Soda needs to find a way out. Neophyte is already out. So is Banker's Hours. There's an 1/8 of a mile to go. Neophyte is never satisfied, erupting from behind. Final 1/8 of a mile. It's still Neophyte just in front.
Never is going to get there.
Shot, never satisfied, surging, never satisfied from last to first to win.
Well,
womp womp.
You didn't have that horse, did you?
No.
Oldy, that's no good. I added that horse, but it doesn't really matter because I didn't play the ticket because I got shut out. That was close. Good race. 8 horse favorite. Should have gotten up, but 6 horse comes. I thought, this horse at 1-2 back off the pace, second off the claim. Trainer jockey 21%. Paco was riding. Like, I thought this was just a tough race, to be honest. So that's why I spread so much here. But
yeah, I mean, I didn't expect them to go into a suicidal battle there, especially
right.
since the 2 didn't run. There was no third horse up on the pace like that.
Yeah. All right, I got to enter this in now so I don't get shut out again. But I'm gonna end up playing just I guess a pick 4, just be cheaper.
Yeah. Or you could not single again. Now you're in a position where you could double in that race if you think the 3 or the 4 is going to run.
Nah, I'll just play it. It's gonna be cheap. I could play it $1 or something. But all right. We'll at least have a ticket going if the 5 wins. All right. Where are we at? Okay. Back to Keeneland. What do you got in the last, Oldy?
I have. Hold on. I have 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11.
Well, that's good. You have coverage. This is the one race I didn't look at because I had to get towards the pick 5, and I'm like, I have time, and this race was so massive, and I'm like, who's gonna get cut? And then they cut it all. I should have just handicapped it because all they did was cut the also eligibles essentially. Well, tell me a little bit about this race since this is good. We got 21 minutes, got some time. We should be able to wait to do the Keeneland pick 5 then.
Yes, because it's the following race after this.
Yeah. All right. Tell me a little. So, what do you got? You have 2,
5, 6, 7, 8. Hold on. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11.
All right. I was gonna look at will pays. Did you already look?
I'm looking now. They're not huge, which I didn't expect.
Yeah, you just need to you need like the 2 or the 5 or the 11.
Yeah, no, and 5. Yeah, the 5 would be nice.
So
the 11's okay.
The 6 horse, Oldy, which you don't have. Oh, you do have the 6.
Yeah, the 6 and the 8 are the
this horse. Look at this, 8 to 5, man. This horse is getting absolutely crushed on the friggin' betting window. That's insane. So this horse was in in today's work report on the Keeneland website, Oldy. So obviously, word is out about this horse. No EquinEdge long shot, Black Forest, but who did you like best?
1%, I believe.
Yeah.
No, actually it's 7%. I thought there's a lot of speed here. The 5, who's the Ward horse, is your top pace here, and it's Johnny V. They could go gate to wire here. The 11 I thought might be able to rate a little bit, even though it's showing that it's a front running horse. It did have a pretty decent workout. The 7 Peacock Alley I thought was really interesting. Did show it could rate for Catalano last time out. The 6, I just question whether it will get there, because if you're looking here, it's typically a slow breaking horse, even though it did break much better last time out in the Rachel Alexandra. And, so it's going to get some pace to run into, but I'm not sure, other than that one effort at 7 furlongs, it hasn't really shown that even if it passes a horse, it will stay past that horse and won't get past.
I would have liked to seen this horse run better in this stakes race at Fairgrounds. Yeah. It stumbled though, so I guess maybe you have to forgive that. But I guess the way that this horse is taking money, although it's floating up a little bit now, it's 2 to 1. But yeah.
But if you like that horse, why wouldn't you like the 2? Would be my question. For Ian Wilkes, 2 graded stakes attempts at Gulfstream. May not have the right run style. Was outside for the the 1 for the 7 furlong race, 2, and that's not a good place to be at Gulfstream, is working really well. Why not this horse here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I could see why you question that. My only I think this horse looks to run better. I mean, if you scratch the stumble here, and then you say this is too tough, like this horse fits big time here.
And well, the 2 also has awkward start in its notes too. So, and then it was just up against an 80 SOR, which just was too good for it.
Yeah, this is a good allowance race.
Yeah.
It's part of why when I looked at it, I'm like, oh, this is going to take me half an hour to handicap. I mean, you look
and the
here.
8's going to take a ton of money. It looks to me like it needs the lead, but it does have IRAD aboard. So, it's tough to say type situation because maybe it just didn't like the slop last time out.
What about the 9? Just like magic. I mean, this horse is not taking any money, but Tom Amos Morales rides. I mean, this horse is 7%. Yeah. Second off the layoff, ran well in a 68 last out. I mean, all these are all 3-year-old fillies, so they're all fairly lightly raced. I mean, this horse is bred well. It's going to have a good post. Like, you didn't use this, but this horse is interesting to me. Didn't run. There's that same stakes race at Fairgrounds, but maybe it was too close here. So I guess what I would be interested to see is like, I'd expect the 9. Yeah, well, I mean, it just shows there. I don't know. There is a lot of pace here. You talked about that.
But also you have the short stretch here as well. So, it's kind of a combination of good and bad for horses that are running late. And one of these horses is going to, I have a feeling will end up rating that we think is going to go really fast.
What about the 10? What about
I dropped the 10 because I did not think the 10 could rate at all. And the 10 seems to stop when it seems to be stopping too. And there's a huge GSR drop going to sprinting.
I was responding to Forrest real quick. Sorry. We'll come back to Gulfstream, but yes, Forrest, I did. Although I added all the horse in the last for like $12 more or something. I think it was. Might have been like 16. I mean, off the layoff, this horse was working with Hoosier Oldy.
Yeah. And this horse also does not seem to be a sprinter by the GSR.
Yeah, this horse. Oh my goodness, man!
I mean,
wow, this horse. Yeah,
I mean, this is pretty much what would you call malpractice that this horse is running at 6.5 furlongs.
Brissett needs EquinEdge because if you look at this Oldie, this horse has only gone 2 turns 1 time, and this is pretty incredible, man. This is a horse. I mean, that's an insane GSR of 85.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing about this, when you look, Oldie, is like, if Pratt rides, but I think to your point, this horse wants 2 turns all day. It's been on the slop, been in these tough races. We're not. Look, here was a favorite, but then like just didn't run, which to be honest, I'm like, well, that doesn't surprise me, man, because you're running a 1 turn mile, 8 furlong 1 turn mile, 8 furlong 1 turn mile. You should follow this horse, Oldie, and see if this horse goes up for a claim and then go somehow claim it and then run it.
Or somebody needs to screenshot the GSR Plus and tweet that at Brissett.
That's a good idea, man. That's even better. I like that.
Who in the chat can we trust to do that?
I know, right? That's pretty wild. That's a good catch, man. This is where I'd put it here. be going to turns. Please send screenshot to
We should have Scotty do it.
I mean, that's the thing is, this is a nice horse, man, and it's just they're running it completely. I mean, look, it broke its maiden as a 2-year-old at Churchill, and like, man, we got the goods, and I'm like, you do have the goods, but then you putting it in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
Ugh. Well, I hope you get through. Keeneland, 12 minutes.
Yep. 15 to GP.
Well, I guess Oldy will have to. Your pick 4 back would be $40. That's yours. Mine.
You're not showing anything right now.
Oh, sorry. There you go. Forrest, I'll show you mine here in a second. Let's see if I can. Yep. Oh. 48. 54. Yep. All right. We got my 5 versus your 3, Oldy. Who's taking the money? Your 3. My 5 is 8-1.
I'm not surprised that my horse is taking the money.
Your horse is 1-5.
Okay, well, that's insane.
It's all right.
That's insane enough that I will not play back my ticket.
Yeah.
Unless that creeps up.
There's a live look. Gulfstream
Park. I would instead take $10 and put it on the 4 here at 20-1.
Mm-hmm. How's everybody in the chat doing? Forrest, let me know if you want me to pull it back. Actually, I'll put it up for you right now, man. There it is. Just because we missed out on our pick 5. Oldy, well, what we could do. Actually, to be honest, I don't. This, we'll cover the pick 5 next. Then we'll have horizontals.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we could look at. I think this pick 3 is going to be very hard. To be honest, I am nowhere in love with Coffee Maker. If anybody is, more power to you. This horse 33% top EquinEdge pick. Gonna take money. I think Oldy, we talked her world probably to take money in the next race as well, though, with Irad for Wesley Ward.
No, I think both those horses are going to take money. And next race at Keeneland, not the one that's coming up, but the one after that, it's not only the late pick 5, it's also the start of the all-turf $3 pick 3.
$3 pick 3 for real?
Yeah.
Wow. That's I like that.
And it's, I believe, 15% takeout as well.
That's incredible. It's a nice day at Keeneland. It's cold because I know it's windy, but it's not raining at least. It's supposed to be really nice there next week, Oldy, and like lots of sun. It's supposed to warm up.
Yeah, no, we're supposed to get in the 70s, so I'm not surprised that it would be there as well. Are they saying, by the way, that the turf's rated as good? Okay. I was going to say no way with half an inch of rain is the turf firm there.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's rarely firm, right?
Mm-hmm. They really didn't have a lot of rain or any rain in the fall, which was unusual.
Okay, Reed. I don't really trust either one of these 2 horses, to be honest. I know Wesley can be so good, but
he's apparently hot right now too.
The only horse I didn't like here was the 1 and the 3.
You are showing the Gulfstream screen, though, if you're trying to show Keeneland.
I flip back. Yeah, he wants to use those 2 horses. I don't like it.
I mean, the 2 was the only one that I saw that you could add, and I think you need all 5 of those horses in race 7. That race is a mess.
There's a bat. Wait, I don't. How is Baffert running a horse here?
Because he's banned at Churchill-owned tracks, not in Kentucky.
Oh,
he's already served his Kentucky suspension. Yes.
Oh, okay. But he was suspended by Kentucky as well.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, how does he have a horse here? 3 horse, race 7. I don't trust that horse, though. I wouldn't even put this horse on my ticket, man. I think
a lot of people like the 1 Gulfport there. I think Lugan Knight could sit the trip here, the long shot.
I agree. Cuts back to 7 furlongs. Saez. I think the 5 could win. The 6 could win. I think Hurricane J can win, man. The 7 horse.
I think the 4 can win as well.
Yeah.
I bet it will go off closer to 15-1 than it will 5-1.
Pratt rides.
For Cassie.
What about in the last? Well, I didn't finish. Oh, yeah. I know why. I like the 8 and 3 here, Oldie.
I think the 4 is super. I pointed this out to some people last night. I think the 4 is super, super sneaky here.
Well, I had the 4 checked as well. I don't know why. I would only be 3, 4, 8 here.
Yeah. So the 4 is the do I have the right horse? Yeah, I do. It's 2 for 2 lifetime. It's a Justify. Go ahead and click on it for a sec. For Brad Cox, we're already a winner of a stakes race at Fairgrounds. Fairgrounds shippers do really well here. It's working well. It's 12-1 on the morning line, 3% to win, and it's Flo and Brad Cox as well as a combo.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, super, super sneaky.
Buffalo Mike, that's good to know. I wish I should have paid attention to that. Oldie, I was kind of tool hunting this morning. I think you saw, and I added a bunch of notes for the stretch run chat. And that's a month. What was Buffalo Mike? What were the morning line on? I guess I could just look. Hold on. We have the time. Last race. Oh, that's not bad. I mean, did go off as the favorite. That's kind of a bummer. 26 black. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I thought this horse was interesting. Good GSR, Manny Road, good win percent. This horse was working really well, Oldie, too. Missed the bet. That's okay. I hope somebody bet it. All right, back.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah. This is tough. This is well, I guess I wasn't looking. The system wants to spread like crazy in this race, man. Huh.
I spread like crazy in that race too. That's the pay leg. I'm just looking at the all-turf pick 5.
They have an all-turf pick 5?
Not pick 5, not pick 5, pick 3. The $3 one. Right now, trying to decide where I would single. And it might be that 10 in the last that I mentioned that I really liked.
Mm-hmm. Good luck, Forrest. We're going to be up against that massive favorite, but that's okay. Oldie's favorite. What's this? This thing still? Oh, it's 2-5 now. All right, 5 taking money though, a little bit.
Yeah, I think the play here is the 4 at that price.
17-1. That's wild.
That you win, play, show that you make money on the. You break no worse than break even on the show bet. And if you get the win in the place, you're going to make a ton of money.
Mm-hmm. 6 minutes till Gulfstream. 3 minutes till Keeneland race 5.
Or you play in a 3-4-5 exacta here.
Oh, at Gulfstream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, you're gonna that's not a bad play. I mean, you're not gonna, you won't make much if the 3 wins, but
Yeah.
if something happens, you're gonna get both price horses or something. So no 10 here. I'm trying to. 6 is just still 5-2, man. Oldy, you need 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. Road Town.
Yep.
The 11. Oh, that's the Gaffleon horse. Yep. Wesley Ward horse. Gonna be on the lead, Oldy. There's gonna be a lot of speed here. Rosario could be dangerous coming from behind on the 12. I like your 11, though. That horse is going to sit a good trip.
Yeah, no, I think so. Lightly raced, too.
The 9K read? Yeah, I talked to Oldy about this horse. I think this horse is going to run. Can't get too far back, though, is the problem. But I mean, it's second off a layoff, which you like to see, and it ran well off the layoff. Like, this horse was too close to the front end probably once, broke its maiden close. But, this horse has run a lot better, when you look at coming off the pace here. It ran a good race. So, added blinkers last out, too. So, likely helped the horse focus some. So it'd be interesting to see. The 9 not taking any money, but I could see it, K. Reed. The horse looks good. They're showing it right now. Has color coordinated wraps. The 4.
Bobby Sox.
Bobby Sox. I don't know.
Race, never run on the dirt.
I don't like the GSR drop. I don't like the speed.
I don't like that it's a turf way shipper either.
Yeah. Are you talking about the 4K read or the 9? I'm guessing you're talking about the 9. I think the 4 are gonna stop. That'd be my concern. That's why I think the pace here are gonna be crazy. But I doubt they're loading, so I'll turn the sound on. Whoa.
Horses have reached the starting gate for Keeneland's 5th race at Stone Farm, start of the pick 6. They are at the post.
Oh,
who was that?
And they're off.
We'll not find out.
There goes Vava from between horses. Black Forest is right there. Peacock Alley up close in the opening strides. Road Town is there in 4th as they head up the back stretch. Vava between horses has a neck just in front. But here comes Black Forest to the inside. Peacock Alley
the
third.
5 didn't get the lead.
Bobby
I'm shocked.
in 5th position. Charlie May.
The 9 went
down toward
way back too.
side. Close quarters racing there for Bobby Sox, who had to check in between horses, drops back into 7th. Half a chance is 8th, and in some traffic just over 6 lengths from the lead to the far turn. Peacock last, Secret Statement going 3 wide for the back of the pack, 7 from the front. Zia Roddy is running along next to last with a lot of work to do, and just like Magic Trails, 22.51 seconds the time for the opening quarter. Black Forest to the inside of Vava off the far turn.
Vava is in the hand, man.
Them a length off the front pair. Has to angle wider still. Positano Sunset in behind the front trio, looking for some running room.
10 is flying. Oh no, that
5th down the outside.
What is the 10?
8th a while to go. Vava by
6
2 by a length and a half. Positano Sunset.
You might get there though.
Down to these two. 16.
Come on, 2.
Vava, Positano Sunset. Vava a neck in front. Positano
Come on, 2.
Coming
Boom.
on.
Boom. Boom.
Sunset gets up.
Boom.
And a half length on the line from
That was the one I was talking about.
Yeah,
Where
it's funny, Oldy, you were, because that was the Wilkes horse that had like similar as the 6, the class there.
Yep.
He like was able to sit just right off. Who wasn't? Oh, Leperoux. He was able to just kind of sit the trip, man. It was a good ride.
Yeah. The 6 looked like he was gone for a second there, but
once the 2 got out, man, he was just loaded. Well, the 4 at G9. Oh, yeah, Signal Fire Group. Oldy was talking about that. We're gonna go there right now because they are
so like
minutes to post.
I mean, not the greatest payout, but about $700.
Hey, that's a winner, man.
Yeah,
you can definitely not complain about that. Oldy, Gulfstream, you are single to the 3. I am single to the 5. You thought the 4 was interesting. I think who was just Signal, I think. Yeah, he did Signal Fire. He did. He talked about that horse right in the beginning. He also talked about the 4 here, Signal Fire. So he was saying that's the bet. He likes the 3 single to the 3 horse, but Oldy single to the 3 there. That's his ticket.
And I also played the 3, 4, 5 exacta box and the as well as a win place show on the 4 here.
I'm all in on the 5. 5-4 or 5-3. Either one. That's Oldy's ticket. That be mine. Up against you. They're headed over to the turf course. 8 furlongs. Starter optional claim. Tough little race, to be honest. One going to be on the lead, and I don't think this horse can wire the field, though, Oldy.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Not on the synthetic. Synthetic? No, not on the grass. Here.
Turf course actually looks to be growing some new grass, man. It's looking good.
As you say that, I see all the patches out there. I think that's wishful thinking. And I tweeted this out earlier in the week about how with the championship meet over, how soon before they shut the turf course down for the summer to grow the grass.
Hold on, Oldy. You gotta help me here. I got a work thing I gotta deal with. They're about to go, so we'll just listen. I'm
go ahead and
sorry, I gotta handle something.
Put yourself on mute.
The horses are at the gate.
They're good.
It's now post time. Lining up and moving in for race number 6. Alley-oop Johnny heavily backed at 1-2. Edgard Zayas for Marty Drexler. Edgard with 2 wins already today, one of which for the connections of Alley-oop Johnny, Marty Drexler, and Bruno Schickedandt. On the outside, it's Indy Lion to complete the line. Indy Lion and the late pick 4. They're off.
Ooh, the one
Alley-oop
stumbled.
Johnny was quick into stride. Indy Lion's going to move to him on the outside, and away in third is XY Time. Van Duzen's between horses. Out a bit deep is Vladislav. Nerves of Steel is 3 wide and a bit keen. The early trailer is Venezuelan Triumph. Reasonable pace as they charge into the first turn with Alley-oop Johnny, the odds-on favorite in front. Pace pressure from Indy Lion on the outside. These two now heads apart. Nerves of Steel gets a good tracking spot in third. On his outside, it's Vladislav. Saving ground is XY Time, then Van Duzen, and Venezuelan Triumph is last. So the top 6 are paired off through a 24-second opening quarter, and Indy Lion shoves a neck in front. Out at the rail, it's Alley-oop Johnny, who's racing in second. He's trying to back off without losing his spot. Into the clear a bit is Nerves of Steel. He's now angling, and behind his top horse is to race third. Vladislav is next, then Van Duzen and XY Time, and out the back, Venezuelan Triumph. So they pick things up in the second quarter, 47-1 for the opening half mile. And Alley-oop Johnny, he's been pressed hard throughout. Indy Lion is right alongside in second. Up on the outside, Vladislav is now third. Nerves of Steel gets the green light to launch a bid. He's driven fourth, about 3 lengths behind. The others are being out-kicked at this stage as Zayas tries to get a break on Alley-oop Johnny.
Come on, 5,
Indy
get
Lion
out.
is still right alongside second. Vladislav in range, then Nerves of Steel as they straighten for the drive. On the outside, Indy Lion toward the rail. Alley-oop Johnny down the center and Vladislav. 1/8 of a mile to go. Alley-oop Johnny is game, but he's been challenged all the time, and Vladislav is coming hard. Here comes Vladislav on the outside. Alley-oop Johnny survives. Alley-oop Johnny narrowly from Vladislav.
7 was on
Indy
the
Lion
3's
is
hip
third.
the entire time. Didn't matter.
Yeah. That's a shame. That is exactly what I wanted to see, Oldy.
Yeah.
Just not the 5 didn't 5 the 6, but the 5 away. I mean that's what kind of sucked. I wish the 5 ended up kind of dueling with the 6 behind, which
Well, the 4 blew the brake. The 1 stumbled out of the gate. The one who was supposed to be the speed stumbled out of the gate. So that those 2 things kind of changed the complexion of the race too.
okay. Where
are we going next? So what do you want to do next? You want to talk Keeneland late pick 5, which is the next thing coming up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you want to talk the turf pick 3?
No, let's do the pick 5. So the turf pick 3, does it start? It starts here?
Yeah.
Well, let's do the pick 5 first, and if we have time, we'll come back and do the pick 3.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So let me know when you're ready.
No, I'm good. Go for it.
So here at Keeneland, so I start out 268, which are the 2 ward horses. And I think Coffee Maker can actually rate a little bit, even though you see the speed there. You look at in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint in 2021, the horse rated and nearly won that race rating. So I'm not sold that the horse has to have the lead here. And again, that this is not that same level of class. You know, there obviously is an issue keeping the horse healthy, but you know, I think it's working okay, and I think this is an easier group than what it had been facing when it was in stakes and graded stakes company. And this is a horse that Ward thought enough of to run at Ascot as well.
Mm-hmm.
The 6 Hay World gets IRAD, so you have to pay attention to that for Ward. This horse, I'm convinced, probably does need the lead, even though it did come close against 64s of winning, even though it didn't get the lead. An interesting horse here that they're your top 2 win percentages. I don't think both Ward horses go here. You have the 4, who's actually your top pace, who's your E long shot as well. I don't really like that horse here. And, I think that horse probably needed a lone lead and also seems to be running on synthetic. And we keep bringing up that turfway shippers don't do well on the first time out at Keeneland. And this is another turfway shipper.
This horse ran well though last fall. It would be my only comments. I mean, it won at Saratoga and then stepped it up. I think the problem though, it's a shipper. I think this horse is sneaky though. I mean, Gaffleon rides from Acre. He hasn't rode, and this horse ran well here on the lead, right? So, but there's a lot of speed here.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's why I like the 2 Frozen Solid, the 3rd win percentage horse. First time going 5.5. GSR, goes down 2 points, nothing big. I would like a better jockey on it than Kevin Krieger, but it is what it is. Could sit a perfect trip here. And you can't really use the late running horses here because you saw those stats for the turf sprints that, they're low single digit possibilities. I think it was over 50% of the winners came on the lead in the turf sprints. So
there's an inquiry and an objection, Oldy, on your 3 horse.
Well, it must have done something.
The 7,
I guess. I thought the 7 was leaning on the 3 the whole time.
Yeah, we'll have to watch the outcome.
Yeah, so I'm just those 3 here because I did not think you could use a horse like the 3 or the 9 here because of, those type of horses. There's a very short stretch, even shorter because it's on the inside on the turf course than the short stretch on the dirt. And in a 1-turn sprint, I think that's going to be, you're going to need an absolute pace meltdown, and you're going to need the 2 to get eaten up by that for the 3 or the 9 to win here.
All right, let's go to race 7. You're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I thought this was a really tough race.
Yeah.
I talked about the gap earlier on 7 furlongs, so I'm kind of excited to watch this. I want to make sure to see if that holds true. But the inside can be brutal because there's a little gap there that exists, and I'll be curious to look at this. But you talked, I think, a little bit about the one that people like. This horse has burned money, but it does fit here for sure. But you talked about Lucan Knight, and I did think this long shot was interesting as well.
Yeah, no, I thought this was a wide open race. At first glance, I loved Corona Bolt, but there's just a lot of speed here. I don't know whether Corona Bolt can rate. I do know Corona Bolt was a horse that was at least on the Derby Trail for 1 race. And you never know whether this is just, as I look at GSR Plus here, it may have just been that this horse did not want to go on wet ground in the Southwest, and that might have been the reason for the subpar effort there. I thought the 4 Determinedly is also interesting. Went 7 furlongs breaking its maiden and was not on the lead. So I thought that horse might be interesting here. Did get the lead in the Risen Star, but just absolutely wanted no part of going 2 turns. at 9 furlongs there. And I know a lot of people like Gulfport here. That horse just doesn't. That horse seems to need the lead to me and doesn't seem to pass people. Good effort in the Champagne and the Hopeful. Seems to always put in a good effort, but hasn't won since going 6 furlongs on Independence Day.
What's keep going.
Go ahead.
No, I was this Freezing Point horse, is 3%. I never heard of this trainer, so I was like, who is this? I mean, maybe it's just a small barn or something, but I mean, hits at 28%. And then Corrales rides, he's obviously a great Kentucky jockey. This horse, I was like, what's going on here?
Well, I'm concerned about this horse from a different standpoint. This horse, something clearly happened in November. This horse came back and was not the same horse at Turfway. Granted, doesn't seem to really want to go 2 turns on the synthetic, but doesn't seem to be a sprinter either. I mean, last time it sprinted on dirt, I think this might be a 2-turn horse. Last time it sprinted on dirt, it lost by 33 lengths.
Yeah, you can see that. I mean, it has a good GSR, but it definitely, you're right, it does look to be 2 turns. Like, I just thought this race was like, I did not like the Baffert Oldie. I just really didn't. So I'm like, oh man. And then I'm like, I don't really like the 1 because the gap traditionally that exists there at Keeneland just makes it really tough. And then I was like, well, I mean, here's the setup for the potential price horse. It's going to come eventually. A lot of them happen on the turf, but I want, both chalk horses I didn't love here. I did think the 5 was interesting, though, Corona Bolt, from the favorite standpoint.
Yeah, and, I personally didn't love the Baffert, but it is a Baffert. And, if it gets to the lead, I think it could be really dangerous. And, it did not run terribly, running for Yakutine in the San Felipe on the lead. So, and it's working well. So, I felt that even at 8-5, you had to use it here.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm with you. All right. Let's go race 8. How much time we got? 10 minutes. Okay. Race 8. You're 3, 4, 8, 9, 12 here. I was really only 3, 8. I think, this is probably a potential price. I think you're going to have to spread here. I've bet Dude in Colorado before. I think I bet this horse last out. Yeah, ended up being a favorite. But you spread here, Oldie. You're using the 3 and 8, which I both love. I thought the 3 was really interesting. Big works, big GSR, an 80, right? Dude in Colorado's an 81. The 12 gonna run. What else did you see here?
Well, I thought that there could be a lot of speed on the front end. I thought the 9 was a little interesting. Here, I thought the 3, as we mentioned, didn't really run in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, but has run pretty decently coming back. Has beaten a 70 SOR on wet turf. We get wet turf here. For Catalano, I think that this horse at a big morning line could be really dangerous here. And if you remember, this horse, after winning the Bourbon, was kind of the wise guy horse for that Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf among the American horses, and it just didn't break well and hadn't been breaking well. And that was here at Keeneland, but it does have a win here at Keeneland as well. Yeah. So I thought that horse was really interesting. And then I mentioned the 4. I think that the 4 is being overlooked. And I don't know if as a Brad Cox horse you can be overlooked, but I think it's being overlooked. Justify by Am Wonderful, 77 GSR, already won at the distance, already won on good turf, and ran and won on that weird turf course at Fairgrounds too, and is now going to get some real space and the ability to move.
Yeah, this is a good long shot, man. I mean, good GSR, and it's only 3%, but this stuff hits 2 for 2 lifetime, right? So this is a great grade 3. It's pretty crazy, Oldy. You see these, like, I mean, you have opening day of the meet, man, and that's why I love Keeneland. You just get these amazing races.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're single to the 2 here? That's what you have up on your screen. No, I'm single to the 2 there.
Yeah.
Like, wait,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
So, and then I really struggled with this race a little bit. I know a lot of people like Punch Bowl. I think Wonder Wheel sits the trip here. I don't think she goes to the lead. I think Punch Bowl gets the lead. There's a short stretch here, which I think is going to make it tougher for horses like Julia Shining to get there. And I just didn't love Punch Bowl. Is tactical, has shown, various aspects and is working okay, but I don't think this horse is of the same class. And if it was, I think it would have already run to that level. The fact that they put it in a mid-range allowance, non-winner of 1 last time out, tells me that they did not think that much of this horse. And now they're just giving it a shot in a grade 1 here.
Yeah.
And then, so, I mean, that's pretty much, for me, if I had to use other horses here, I would be 2, 4, 5.
If you were to spread.
If I were to spread, yes. If the track was wet, I would add the 3 as well, because that's a gun runner. They love the wet tracks. So I did have that as a backup as well, but this horse isn't working great. Really hasn't shown much other than breaking its maiden. So I'm not sure that this horse really wants the added distance either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Oldy, I mean, you and I talked. I looked at this. I thought Wonder Wheel might be really tough as a single, so I'm not surprised to see that you single her. This is a great race, though, to be honest, right? I mean, I love the name of this horse, too. I don't really know why. Just it's like they did such a good job here. But, I love Tyler. I think it's going to be tough. But, and no Irad here, Oldy. I was a little surprised. I thought he would get a mount somehow, and I didn't spend too much time looking at it. But it's I was surprised.
I'm surprised he's not riding for Pletcher.
Yeah,
or Chad Brown. I mean, those are his 2.
Yeah. I mean, Rosario gets the mount on Guns and Graces, which I'm guessing has been he rode last out.
Yeah.
Punch Bowl, Pratt, and not Punch Bowl. Julia Shining, right? Yeah. I mean, Luis keeps that mount, so that's not too surprising.
Yeah, and I think also at Tampa, Wonder Wheel and Julia Shining, I question that them placing those horses there. Then I still question whether, I think that race was too short for both those horses. If you look, both these horses want to go as far as possible. Look, we're going 8.5 furlongs. It's a 92. Julia Shining went 9 furlongs and was a 96. And they put it in essentially what was a mile. And it was just too short for that horse. And Wonder Wheel's the same way.
Yeah. I'm seeing on Buffalo Mike. That's amazing. Oldy, I know something about Aqueduct lately, man. Back-to-back winners. Yeah. So Buffalo Mike, if you probably saw my notes, and then Oldy will jump back to Keeneland. So Was it here? 4-horse. Was this must have been it, Buffalo Mike, the 4-horse here. Listen to your heart. You get 5-1. Yeah, that's what you were saying. Yeah, I and I don't have my note here, but I thought this horse was interesting. There's another one coming too. Or maybe it was the 4th race. 5th race? I don't know. But I'm glad you hit, Buffalo Mike. That's awesome. Yeah. I love hearing that, man.
Congrats.
All right,
boom, I should say.
We got
what are you playing here? What's your ticket look like?
Hold on. We got to get to this. Let me get back to I took yours. Was it 160?
Yes. And then I love the 10 in the last, but it's a maiden race. I love the works on the 10 in the last. And this is Alvarado's only ride of the day here for Mott. So that I love that horse. I think the 7's interesting. I think the 8, who's your E long shot, is interesting as well. And then the 6, the system picked out for me. So that's kind of the way I played this, but I could, if I was not singling Wonder Wheel, I'd be singling Dorel here.
Mine, is here. I would single Wonder Wheel with you, Oldy, but I definitely am not playing Coffee Maker. I'm not using this horse. I don't think it's winning. I really don't. But I could be wrong because I'm wrong all the time. But funny how. See, Mike, that's what Oldy, I was trying to. This is what I was trying to get back to. I can't. I'm trying to do too many things at once. Oldy, funny how is the horse that I singled in my $35,000 Aqueduct pick 4.
Yeah, don't remind me of that one.
Yeah, was running again today, and I'm like, gonna run again. It's gonna happen. Yeah. I looked at the race real quick. I love hearing that, Buffalo Mike. That's incredible. And getting 5-1 is even better, man. Like, I love that. Great horse.
Is that 35-1 or 5-1?
Well, he played the double. Because I had back-to-back races there and a 35-1 double, which is just amazing. So I love that. That's awesome. So Oldy, what do we got here? I got to pull Keeneland up.
Got about through. We're almost off here, so we haven't seen your ticket yet.
No, I thought I showed it. Oh no, yeah, it's right here.
Okay,
it's up.
So you're spreading against Coffee Maker here, who's 1-1.
I'm not even using the horse, man.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm saying you're spreading against.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I didn't want to use the 6 either, but because Coffee Maker's making so much money, I'd take the 6 over the 8. In my mind, I almost wanted to just single the 6, but I'm like, yeah. But
and I love the price on the 2 right now.
I think I worry about this race too. I think I would actually, Oldy. I'm not going to use the Baffert because I don't like that horse. I'm also not going to use the 1, so I'm going to use prices. I'm using a bunch of prices and thinking Wonder Wheel's the chalk. I don't play like this very often, Oldy, but
I know.
But I don't know. I just
that sometimes Gamine is at the top of the, is somewhere on the ticket and running against nobody, and you have to use that horse.
Yeah, no
that situation,
right?
Yeah, take the free space.
I didn't
think that was 2 derbies ago or 3 derbies ago.
Yeah,
where it was the pick 5, the first leg. Gamine was
1-5, I think, right?
Yeah, and we're running against what you would term as future claimers.
Got a lot of 1%ers here in the last. Yeah, that's mine. 180. I think it's 180.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I always think outside the box. I always try to do, but at Keeneland specifically, I'm excited. Funny how I won again. That's incredible. I love hearing that. It's a nice horse. Well, that's a grade 3, I think, to be honest. I think that's graded stakes win then.
I think that's at the race 7.
Yeah.
If I'm reading his comment right. I don't think race
Yeah,
7's
yeah,
gone off at Aqueduct yet.
Yeah, it so oh, that's what he's saying. So it has not won.
Well, no, maybe.
He was talking earlier, but
Yeah.
funny how he's running and must be in the 7th race. But there was a double earlier I gave Oldy at Aqueduct. So yes, Oldy's correcting me, Buffalo. He's able, like, I'm trying to do, like, no joke. I think I was trying to do 5 things at once for a minute.
If you're going to get your ticket in, they're loading right now.
I did it. I'm in. I didn't get shut out this time. I'll turn the sound on, y'all.
You're in like Flint.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. 800 grand Oldy in the pick 5.
Nice.
Even money on coffee maker.
Well, if you do get coffee maker and you get Wonder Wheel, it's not going to pay much.
I don't got coffee maker, so
I'm just saying.
Yes. Coffee maker didn't look too happy behind the gate there. That was interesting. I only got it like a very quick glimpse.
Actually, the camera work right now is making me seasick.
Too many tracks, but I'm like pretty good, Buffalo. I try to like. Thanks, Scott. I appreciate you saying something.
They are at the post.
I love that starter, man. He ready to go today.
And they're off. And Coffee Maker. They go 1-2 coming away from the starting gate. Laughing is away 3rd, and Awesome Lawson 4th down toward the inside. It'll be Her World with the lead. Her World, and lane off the rail, leads at 3/4 of a length. Coffee Maker to her outside. Awesome Lawson moves up closer 3rd, down toward the rail. Laugh and Play is in 4th. Linguistic is 3 wide, headed to the far turn in 5th. Frozen Solid 6th. Nota Bene is 7th. Covenant Lady is 8th, and Dressed is last of the 9. The opening quarter, 21.77 seconds. Her World, the leader by a length around the far turn. Coffee Maker 2nd, 3/4 of a length.
2 looks to have a lot of horse.
Ahead,
Yeah.
Awesome Lawson 4th to her inside. Frozen Solid has to go to the outside off the far turn. Here comes Coffee Maker now down the outside, trying to catch her.
Come on, 6.
Nota Bene is going to run toward the rail, but is still 2 lengths away, and Linguistic is in 4th position. Her World in front. Her World chased by Nota Bene, who's there to the inside, but a length away. Her World, Nota Bene, Linguistic on the outside. Her World chased by
Okay, why do they pan out like that?
Nota Bene.
If that was a photo finish, you would not be able to tell.
2.94 seconds.
Boom.
I don't know, man. There's I should just go with I should single that horse, but that's okay. The 8 did not run. Oldie had I mean, I don't know. I don't know why that horse was even money, but I ran with a good ride. The 3 was an absolute bomb, Oldie, and Nota Bene. Well, I guess not really. He ended up going 8-1, but
8-1.
was
working well on the. But this is an example of why, horses coming off the pace struggle on these turf sprints.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know why they panned out like that, man. That was strange.
This is the 2nd time they've done it on the turf course.
And like that's a really weird angle. I'm just watching the video still.
Yeah. I mean, it looked a lot closer from the angle they showed than this angle.
Yeah. USMC, good try, man. I thought the 2 had a lot of horse there, buddy.
I did too. I just think they didn't go as fast as we thought they were going to go. Like, I think that was whichever Ward horse got the lead, the other one wasn't going to push it.
Gulfstream, Oldy, race 7. You are 1468.
Yeah. Well, the 4 currently at 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, you really want anybody. You just got to beat the 4, man.
Yeah.
This you talked a lot about this horse. I think, if I remember correctly. No, maybe you didn't. People Force. Now, I thought that my most interesting horse here, Oldie, was the 1. The morning line. It took a lot of money, so I'm not. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me with EquinEdge, but This horse got over to the Tapeta, got off the dirt, off the turf, but this horse had run well on the Tapeta off the pace, 1 and a 48, then was kind of racing a little bit tougher. You know, if you get around these races, I just toss this race going 7 furlongs. Okay, like get back to going 2 churns. You know, this was too tough. This horse fits here in Nicky Newts.
Nicky Newts. Quite a name.
Yeah, I would agree. That is an interesting one. Four horse just taking a ton of money though at the window.
Yeah. Beat 50s. Really hasn't run since then. Going to synthetic, losing 7 points of GSR. That seems like a play against me. I'll play Nicky's Newts there. Yeah, I mean, look at the 4 horse. Looks like, you know, needs to be on or near the lead, beat 50s on the turf, but is losing 7 points of GSR from that race.
Still time for your wagers. Race 7 starts the late pick 3.
Burn some money for sure.
And, you know, so it stopped both times it ran on synthetic against easier.
Yeah, Coach Abernathy has Zayas. That's just, I mean, from that standpoint, it's a little bit interesting. That horse is going to come off the pace. I don't really want anything to do with the 6 on the lead. I don't want anything to do with the 4 really around the lead. I mean, I had already cut these horses. I'm like 1-7 here would be my perspective, Oldy.
Yeah, I think the 8 might be a little interesting too here.
Yeah, I hate when I see, I don't disagree with you. I just don't like when I see horses that burn money versus easier. Like,
yeah, no, I agree. But then it switched to Sano and ran much better and did win by almost 7 lengths last time out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in a 36, but yes.
Right. Which, yes. You know, you have to keep that in mind. Rios did ride, though, and is riding back. You know, and 25 starter optional claiming is not that aggressive of a placement out of a 16K maiden.
I mean, got a 66 GSR. I mean, he definitely improved the horse off the trainer switch for sure.
Yeah.
All right. We'll turn it over to Pete. They're approaching the gate, maybe? Yes.
The horses are at the gate. It's outpost time. Lining up and moving in for race number 7, starting leg of the late pick 3. Odds on favorite at 3-5 is number 4, People Force, under jockey Amisael Jaramillo. For trainer Lupe Preciado.
Oldy, can you still see the race?
Respect for 2. Hello, Jack. 8, Artico.
Thanks for the save, by the way, for Scotty last weekend.
First in the line, Nicky Newts.
Yeah, no, for sure, man.
Now, hello, Jack. Pluma Roja. People Force. 3 more, waiting for Nova Folha, Coach Abernathy, and Artico. Coach Abernathy walking forward. Artico to the outside gate. Artico going up. And in. All set. And they're off. The favorite was away very nicely. It's People Force who reaches out for the early lead from the outside. Nova Folha's on to challenge from second. Hello, Jack. He gets away racing in third. In between horses and Pluma Roja, not a bit deep on the course is Coach Abernathy. Second last, Nicky Newts. The early trailer is Artico as Nova Folha's made the top. Armio backed off with People Force. He'll angle him off the inside and race on from second with Hello Jack now third. On a stronghold fourth is Coach Abernathy, a length and a half better than Nicky Newts. Then Pluma Roja. The trailer is Artico. The opening quarter was 24-4. Down the backstretch they go. Nova Folha and Edgar Perez tugging on top by 2. People Force is second. Hello Jack is third. Coach Abernathy fourth. Artico, black colors, improving toward the fence. Then Nicky Newts and Pluma Roja. Half a mile from the finish. Nova Folha continues to be unopposed on the top end. He leads by a length and a quarter from People Force, who's under a nice hold and starting to creep a touch closer second. From third, it's Hello Jack. Artico is fourth toward the rail. Then Nicky Newts and Coach Abernathy. Out the back now is Pluma Roja. Around the far turn through a 49-4 half mile. On the outside, People Force turning up the heat on Nova Folha. People Force for a narrow lead.
7 is flying.
The inside, Nova Folha underway from the back. Coach Abernathy swings into action on the outside. Hello Jack and Schaefer for racing room. He's now fourth. Trying to run home from the back is Nicky Newts, and they're at the top of the stretch. Armio throws across at People Force and now opens up by 2.5. From second, it's Coach Abernathy. Artico, he splits horses to try to get into second, but the chicken's flown the coop here. It's People Force at 3-5 to win going away. People Force by as much as he wants, call it 5 in the end. Artico was second. Third was Nicky Newts, then Coach Abernathy and Pluma Roja.
Much the best.
Yeah, that it really was. Just gonna sap the trip there. 3-5. I mean, that's pretty wild to be honest. But yeah. We got Keeneland race 7 in 20 minutes. Oldy.
8 minutes to Santa Anita.
Yeah, I mean, we can. Let me see here. I gotta minimize my screen. Give me a sec. Yeah, Santa Anita in race 7. Keeneland.
In this horse, my friends Terry and Sandy.
I did not play the Santa Anita pick 5. If you have one, I'm happy to share it, Oldie.
Okay, it should be. I can give it to you as we.
Yeah, let's do it. What's your budget?
It was 120, but my ticket ended up being $90 after scratches.
System wants to single the 6.
Which I could see if the 1 wasn't sitting there, I could see, but the 6 stops a little. So I did not single the 6 there. So I'm 2, 5, 6, 8.
All right.
1, 2, 4.
Okay.
2, 5, 6.
Yep.
I'm singling the 3.
Yep.
And then I'm 3, 4, 8, 9, 10.
All right, take me through this. So I'm not surprised to see this because I saw this horse and I've seen Angel Sense before. I mean, this horse stopped bad with an easy lead in a 66. It stopped in a 68. It stopped in a 60. So I get it, man. There's nothing to say this horse is going to wire the field today.
Right, and if this was 5 furlongs, I'd be more inclined to say the 6 is going to wire the field too. I don't like it as much at 5.5. And it even stopped at 5 before. But, then the 2's your second choice, it's 10%. And a lot of these win percentages are lower than they would be because the 6 is sucking up so much of the win percentage pool.
Yeah, it's a good point, Oldie. Oldie, pause for a second. So I just want Joey, happy Easter, man. I appreciate you saying that. We didn't even start. I kind of spaced it, but happy Good Friday, happy Easter. Oldie, I wanted so Signal Fire Group asked, why would a horse drop 7 points in GSR? So Signal, I appreciate you asking. That's what that's what this is for. Let me know what race and we'll talk about it. So
it was the 4 and the last at Gulfstream, I believe.
Oh, so let's go to it real quick, Oldie, just so we can.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we answer his question. So people for, so you're saying, oh, okay. So Oldy, go for it because you played this ticket.
Yeah, so the horse is dropping because it's in GSR because it's moving from turf to synthetic, and in this case, the GSR for that horse is lower. So the algorithm says this horse should run better on turf than it should on synthetic at this distance, and the 3 generations back history are showing that this horse that's how this horse should perform. And if you go and look at the GSR Plus tab as well, you'll see a higher number on the turf tab than you'll see on the synthetic tab, which also tells you that ideally this horse is bred to go on turf. Does not always play out that way. Some horses that appear to be bred well on dirt run better on turf, some run better on synthetic, but it's to give you an idea of how the horse could perform and that the horse might not perform as well when switching or as a maiden or first time doing something. It's a way for you to be able to look at a horse and decide whether this horse is going to run well. In this case, that this horse won anyways, and a 60 GSR is just fine for a 52 SOR level as well. But that was one of the things I noted when I saw a 56% win percentage and this horse was at 3 to 5. I want to see some positives in the peripheral algorithms, if you will.
Yeah, and I think Signo, so you can see here, like on the first running lines, right? This horse been on turf in the last 4 races. And its GSRs have gone from 62 to 67. And then today, right, we're on the synthetic, and you can see the synthetic races down here in 60s. So, and then to Oldy's point, see it drops, or maybe you saw my note. That might have been what you were saying. It drops from 67 to 60. You can also use the GSR Plus toggle here, right? And it will tell you all surfaces and distances. So you can look on the turf and sort. You could look on the Tapeta or synthetic and sort. So it's just a way to be able to see what does a horse want to do. And I think, Oldy, to your point, this horse really could probably run on any surface. Yeah. There's not a big difference here. And if you look, right, I guess in the situation like this, I mean, the horse ran well here back in the 40s on the synthetic. So.
Well, and also, if you go back and look at that, if we went back to that Brissett horse that we talked about, that was sprinting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And wants to go as long as possible. That was based off what the GSR was telling us as well.
Yeah, and so Signo, here's the 10 at Keeneland. It was going longer and much higher GSRs versus today at 64. And then if you go into GSR Plus, like this horse wants the dirt and you sort, like this horse wants to go long on the dirt, 8, 9, 10 furlongs, not sprint 6.5. So you can use that just to not, predominantly you just like toss the horse a lot of times because they aren't, the horse ain't running third, which tells me, Oldy, this is a nice horse. Like, I mean, if they get this horse to go 2 turns in an allowance race, it probably will win, to be honest. So,
and if I was looking at this and I was trying to hit a try, I might not toss that horse, but because GSR really only looks at whether the horse is going to win or whether its family has a history of winning at that distance. Mm-hmm. So I just toss that horse altogether.
They're about to go at Oldy at Santa Anita, so we'll watch this.
Yeah. Go. They're in the gate. And they're off. Angel sent
what we expected.
Straight to the front. And Opal along the inside, a clear-cut second. Ready, Jet Go, third in the early going. They're followed by Take a Leap, inching up outside Little Rachel. Then over Attracted, and she's a girly girl.
They're heading into the far turn behind the blazing speed of Angel Sense, who has quickly put 5, maybe 6 lengths on them.
2186.
Go moves clearly into second. Antopol back to third. Then Take a Leap, followed by Over Attracted. Little
bringing it
Rachel,
out
and she's
there,
a girly
but
girl. They
you
pass
know
They have
this
anything left when they turn to
home.
home.
It's Angel Sense, 3-length advantage. Ready, Jet,
Come on,
go.
8.
Takes aim in second. Another 4 back to Take a Leap in third. Final furlong. And Angel
Run
Sense
straight.
digging in,
I think the
maintaining a
6 got it.
2.5 length lead on Ready, Jet, go. In
7
the center of the course,
line.
here's Over Attracted, finishing very strongly. Moving into second late. It's Angel Sense.
Oh.
Angel Sense.
Oh, dude.
Just got it.
So close.
That
Absolutely flying
That
Over
was
Attracted.
They would have
wild.
panned out at
Just
Keeneland,
missed.
and we wouldn't have been
Then
able to
behind
tell.
them, it was between Take a Leap and
yeah.
Ready, Jet, go. Tight photo in the opener.
That was cool, man. I don't
Yeah.
know Oldy, if you had the 7. I can't remember.
I did not, but I think the
Oh.
6 stayed up.
Yeah, no, I think it did too, but that was a wild finish, man. Like that horse was flying. Like
Photo finish.
just misses, I think, though, and unless somehow just gets some insane bob, but the 6 like nearly stopped.
Well, maybe not. No,
No,
6
the
got
6,
the nose
the
down.
6 clearly got it. The 7 needed another, got a terrible bob. Yeah, but that was wild. You always like to see a good race.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let the 6 go up.
So Signal, I hope that made sense. Yeah, K Reed. Yeah, the only thing I would say, K Reed, on that is the pace set that race up. So just be cautious, right? But I do agree. You could put some notes there. Well, in the 7 was the EquinEdge long shot, and it was half 6-1 on the morning line. Wow, that would have been Oldy. You didn't have it, so that's a good thing. But
it was 17-1 too. Went off it.
Yeah, but 6-1 on EquinEdge. That's wild. Yeah, it ended up being one of the long shots there. So all right, we got 8 minutes to Keeneland.
You want to talk about one of the Derby props tomorrow?
Let's talk Keeneland first, because I want to get back to this race. So we are in race 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Let's talk this race for a second, and then we can Gulfstream. We can get it in between Gulfstream and Santa Anita, because we'll have about 10, 12 minutes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. All right. This Oldy, I didn't use the 3 horse here, so I tossed another. Well, I don't know if this horse is even the favorite. Is the 3 the favorite? Oh, it is.
It is right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I went 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. You went 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5.
No, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You have too many horses in the first leg for me.
What's
I was just 2, 6, 8 in the first leg.
There we go. Okay. All right. We both talked about Lugan Knight or Lugan Knight. Saez rides here. This horse is cutting back to 7 furlongs. Not directly on the rail, which is good. Didn't really run in the Gotham, Oldy, but gets the cut back, has been running 1 churn though. So this horse has definitely just been running 1 churn, not 2 churns. But what did you see here?
I just saw a lot of speed, and I saw that this horse could rate.
Yeah. Yep.
And rated here at Keeneland. So, adding those 2 things in, it also gets Saez, which I thought was interesting here. So, I think this horse is probably live. And looking at this race, there's really not a lot here that can rate or have gotten home trying to rate. Maybe the 4 is the other one that I would look at. The 7 was on the lead. The 6 rated in its maiden and then did nothing next time out, and we talked about the 6 a little bit and how poorly it's run at 7. It ran at 7 furlongs on the dirt as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I thought this either was going to be speed of the speed, or you're going to get a horse like the 2, or maybe the 5 can rate a little bit, who's going to end up winning this race, or the 4. Somebody's going to rate and win this race unless the 3 or the 1 gets away.
Yeah, I don't like the pace at all here. I really don't. So I just got rid of him. But
and now the 5 Corona Bolt, who's 3 of 4 lifetime, is the horse that is the favorite. So it looks like the 3 and the 5 are going to trade off being the favorite here.
let me get our video. Oh, they're out on the track, so that's good. We got 6 minutes. Yeah, I'm with you. I think I don't know. This 6 horse still really interested me. I didn't really know why this horse was here. Like,
yeah,
man. Sometimes it just kind of blew my mind. I didn't really know a lot here, and I was so against the favorites again in this race, trying to beat some of the favorites that, well, it's 3%. Like, Growlithe rides, and then Pratt, on the 4 horse, interesting long shot for Cassie, but he's 0 for 9 with him. Like, I don't see Pratt ride often for Cassie, Oldy.
No, I don't either. Again, he's West Coast a lot, and maybe this is a pickup mount. Maybe they're 0 for 9 over the last year, so they do not run a lot together. But maybe this is a live mount, and Cassie could have put Irad's not in this race, and Irad does ride for Cassie a lot. But looking at this, he chose Pratt for some reason, or the ownership chose Pratt for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody, this is a good race. I do agree with you. A lot of people shipped for this. He's sampling everything. He's a good job. A lot of people. I'm glad that he came over to Keeneland. Chrono Bolt, Oldy, I think to your point, still the favorite all the way down to 3-2 now, and the 3's floating up. So I would guess the 5 ends up going off as the favorite here, which again, tells the 1 not really taking much money for Asmussen. Paulo Lobo has his Talamo horse here in Hurricane J. He's going to try to blow up the board. But the 2, I think that's the interesting horse, Oldy. And this horse is not taking money. It's floated up all the way to 9-1 with Luis Saez.
Yeah, and I'm surprised looking at, would you have expected in the last year for Asmussen to have used Gaff 147 times?
No, I wouldn't. Like, that is pretty wild. So he must have been using him a lot. I guess where would that have? Because he was been riding a little bit at Gulfstream, so he must have.
I don't have a good answer to that one. Maybe it was at Churchill.
Yeah, it must be from Churchill, and then maybe some at Fairgrounds, some at obviously maybe Keeneland, but then I guess just really, I bet he keys him in a lot of his Kentucky mounts whenever he has horses, to your point of Churchill and elsewhere. So
I'm going to take a quick pit stop, much like a horse right before a race, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm with you, Buffalo Mike. I thought the 7 could as well. You have a similar comment to me. This horse prefers the dirt and gets back to dirt for Hurricane J. So Paulo Lobo, had this horse, gets it a race over on the Torpedo, which is a good thing to get a race. Is on the rail. It was on the rail here. It won a 62 at Keeneland on the dirt going 6 furlongs. GSR goes up, ran well in the fall here. I use this horse again. I got rid of the chalk here in the 3. I kept the 5. I thought that was probably the best horse here, but I didn't use the 1 or 3 and ended up adding the 7 horse for sure, Buffalo Mike. So for sure could surprise, not getting any love in the betting window, but that's okay, right? 23-1. you know, both horses, there's a lot of interest in these horses. You can see it in EquinEdge. You have this huge advantage from a morning line perspective, and everybody's just putting the money on the Cox and the Baffert, right? So either could blow up the board for sure.
Appears like we're getting to the gate here.
Yep, I was just going to take the sound off. The lovely voice of Keeneland.
Who is the voice of Keeneland?
I don't know, but I just love him as a race caller. The chat will have to tell us who calls the Keeneland races. I actually don't know. Right, I just don't remember.
Looks like Chris hit the super high five at Santa Anita.
Wow.
What did that pay, Chris?
Yeah.
$8 to 5 on the Cox horse right now.
They are at the post. And they're off in the Lafayette Stakes. Gulfport comes out for the lead right there in the opening strides. Corona Bolt now kicks in up toward the outside. Here's Lugan Knight. There's Hurricane J. Extreme.
Yeah, that gap
forward. Corona Bolt
is obviously still there.
The lead by up the back stretch. Here's Hurricane J now taking second by a neck. And then Gulfport in third. Hajazi starts moving out in the center of the track. Fifth to fourth, the third to second.
Who's that? Ford?
Now
no.
Alongside
no, that's the Baffert.
Wide to the far turn, next to last, just 3.5 lengths from the front, and a gap of 7 more back to Determinedly, who is the trailer. 22.28 seconds, the time for the opening quarter. Corona Bolt is
that's so tough for that 7 to race in between like that.
Is there up on the
6 sitting the trip, man.
For the lead, Hurricane J is close in between that pair. Freezing Point, fourth, tries to pick up the leaders, angles out to the center of the track, goes to third, still 3 lengths off the lead to the top of the stretch. Lugan Knight has to go to the center of the track. Gulfport is 5 from the front. Hajazi head in front. Corona Bolt fighting back to the inside. Freezing Point is trying, but still third. Final furlong of the Lafayette. Corona Bolt fights on. Hajazi right alongside. They continue to go at it. 16th to go. Corona Bolt has the lead. Corona Bolt, Florent Giroux.
Oh, Florent. And the Baffert ended up going off as the favorite.
Well, that's good, man. I didn't have that horse. I was about to start cheering for the 6, but that horse was 66 to 1, Oldy, Freezing Point. I just didn't understand. I had to use that horse, Oldy, because I didn't like the 1 and 3 so much. And I'm like, why is this horse here? And it added a lot of excitement around the turn for about a couple, 10 seconds or something. But you could see that horse wasn't going to challenge. But the 5 horse, man, very game, just put the 3 away.
Yeah. 5 was the one that I thought most needed the lead, too. And it did end up being the speed of the speed.
2 and 6, 2 runs fourth. 7 racing in between, didn't really have a shot. That was too tough. But the 6 horse tried to give a little bit of excitement, but couldn't do it. All right. We Gulfstream Park, Oldy, the 5 is the favorite currently. 8 to 5. Your ticket. You have the 1, 3, 4, 5, and 8 in this leg.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the 5 here. I thought this horse was beatable. Captured the time. This horse is coming off stakes. We don't know what's left. Second EquinEdge pick though, and maybe this horse has something left. To be honest, Oldy, I mean, was a stakes horse and. Goes on this big layoff. The same thing for the 1 horse, but I thought this horse was a little bit interesting. The 1 as well, the 3, I just didn't love the 5. So I hope you get a price here.
Yeah, no, I hope we get the 3 here.
Well, 3 is at 5-2. So,
well, 3-1 actually. Well, yeah, you're right. It was showing
yeah,
3-1 for a second there.
but
Maybe
better
the
than
4.
5. Yes.
5's your favorite at 9-1.
Yeah,
There's really not a.
Chantel rides the 3 back. I mean, this horse was claimed, trainer move, second off the layoff. This horse has 9 wins, but if you look at GSR Plus, 7 of those, at 5 furlongs. So this horse is a sprinter for sure. The one
was running at Tampa. Been all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I think at one time was in the Peter Miller barn. That may be XY Jet, not XY Speed.
Nerve. I mean, this is another horse off a big layoff. They drop here in a claiming race after this horse was in allowance company. This is not the same horse. Zaya's ride, so a little bit interesting, but I think that horse is probably going to struggle a little bit, but it does have a lot of speed. There's a lot here. That's why I thought Oldy the 8 might sit the trip. I think the 3 could sit the trip as well. So I hope you get one of those.
Yeah. No, and the other one I'm looking at that maybe sits a trip just based on the amount of speed here is the 6 Elusive Mischief that I didn't use.
Mm-hmm. Off the claim for Delgado. Keeps it at the same spot, though, so obviously wasn't too comfortable moving the horse at all. It still keeps it in a 35,000 claimer, so.
Slow breaker, but may benefit because you have a 96, an 89, a 79, and a 77 as your top 4 pace numbers here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they're going to be flying on the turf for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I'm going to point out I did not play back that pick 5 as a pick 4. And I believe I made the right call, being the fact that we got the odds on favorite in the first 2 legs, even at $40.
I would agree. I mean, you probably wouldn't have made a lot, if anything, especially at Gulfstream.
That I was looking at it and it was like, well, this horse is going off at 2-5. Where am I going to find a price that's going to make this make money? And, if you're going to take the chalk, that's what you want to do, is try to evaluate the other legs to find out where your prices are going to come from. 7 at GP is top Bruno, Chris says.
The 7? I got to flip. Hold on. I got to get back to that.
I think that's a low GSR. Overtaxed.
5-month layoff, gets the apprentice, first time turf, the GSR drops, it's off the claim. I don't know, that I like to see something different than that. That's why I like that 6 horse at Keeneland. I'm like, at least this horse has promise and has been racing versus tougher, and the trainer's good. To me, that is a lot. I like the kind of obscure thing related to that, where this, I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't see it, but I
don't see it either, unless there's. Let's just look at GSR Plus and see if that's an out. No, the GSR tab is 51 versus 67 on the dirt, and this is its top turf GSR number.
Waiting for discrete tune and capture the time.
Do you remember the time?
Capture the time. Sonny Leon to the outside gate.
By the way, the race 5 at Keeneland got through off first time Lasix.
And they're off. From between horses, Solardi away quickly, not as fast as Nerve, who speeds through at the fence. Nerve to the top. Salardi away second. Capture the time is now third.
Full screen.
XY Speeds in the white blinkers toward the rail, working out the
I've
center. Tune
been there,
followed inside
having
by
to
Elusive Mischief,
control that and
outside
try
by
to
Overtaxed,
think
and
about those
Aeronaut is
things
last.
too.
They leave the backstretch and move on to the far
Got
turn.
8,
It's
man.
Nerve
Come
in
on,
front.
sit the trip,
Taken
buddy.
on again by Salardi in second, 2.5 better than Capture the Time. He's now third. Up to the outside, Discreet Tune is there fourth. XY Speed, he saves ground toward the rail fifth.
Or the
Three more to Elusive Mischief, then Aeronaut and Overtaxed as they run to the top of the stretch. Less than a quarter of a mile to come. The leader is still Nerve. Salardi tries again, working into the clear as XY Speed from the outside. Capture the Time. Late run from Discreet Tune. XY Speed running to daylight, surging forward. Here's XY Speed to the top. XY Speed has it close to home, and XY Speed will win it. Capture the Time is up for second. Salardi is third. Closer for fourth, either Nerve or just.
Well, that's good. Race 5 at Keeneland, Chris. Okay. All right. Oldy advanced 7-2 over a 9-2. That'd have been a nice exacta.
Yeah.
Well, good. You would have got through. Maybe somebody played one of those. Let's go to, well, since you didn't, Oldy, what time is it too? All right, we got about 30 minutes. I can't go long. I know you asked me. I wish I could, but we have Keeneland.
Do we want to talk?
Yeah. What?
You want to talk the Bluegrass? Do we want to talk the Santa Anita Derby or the what?
I'm gonna get rid of this. All right. We will go to. Let's let's talk the Bluegrass first. Oops,
okay.
That's the Madison. Hold on.
I thought that was the one that you could possibly get a bigger price.
I mean, so my question here, right, Oldy, is Tapit Trice. So, like, what's the deal here?
Yeah.
To be honest, like, I think we talked a lot about this horse, right, in the Tampa Derby. Ended up showing up. I think, right. What happens here is going to be interesting on the Derby trip, not the trail, I guess, but what happens in the Derby, because Oldy, in my opinion, I kind of hope this horse runs and wins. Do I think it's going to? I don't necessarily trust it. If it doesn't, right, you're going to end up, people are going to slant heavily back towards Forte. And what's the Angel? What's the 6 horse that won? I can't remember now, but
I can't remember the name of it. But also, the Practical Speed or the actual Yakteen horse that's running it tomorrow at the Santa Anita Derby too will be among those.
Yeah.
If he wins. But
yeah. Go ahead though. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I kind of like the 3 verifying here. I think, E first pick, not in top win percentage. Horse has tactical speed, but failed on the move up to graded 6 2 previous times. It's Flo and Cox. It's a 91 GSR, top in the race by 11 points.
Riding.
Is it Gaff? I had it as, I mismarked that down. Okay.
Which though, I totally agree with you on the 3 horse.
Yeah.
I'm not a Tapit Trice. I don't trust that horse. So, but I actually think it's a good thing that Gaff Leon's riding, but keep going.
Yeah, and I think there's just not that much speed in this race. There is cheap speed in Major Blue, who's the Lucas horse, and doesn't really match anything else. But, I think verifying just sits the trip right behind Major Blue, presses like he did in that 74 he won going a mile, and just takes over and takes off there.
Yeah, Florent gets tossed off the 3. Although this horse had Rosario and then Garcia. But I think I think that this horse probably wins, Oldy, would be my guess. I'm cutting the 2, 5, 6, 9. I think the GSR says this horse says I would not use classic car wash. I don't think that I think these horses coming off the lead on the Keeneland dirt, no bueno. I think this horse is going to sit the trip. It is a really nice horse. I don't see, this would be who I would pick 100% to win. I would bet this horse to win tomorrow for sure. I mean, I'm totally with you. So,
yeah, I mean, the other horse I sort of liked is the 8 Blazing Sevens, the Chad Brown IRAD horse. Is a grade 1 winner, which we can't really say about anybody else in this field. Will sit closer to the pace than Tappet Trice, and that's part of my concern. Tappet Trice with the short, again, the short stretch here is going to have to get up from probably 11th or 8th, and is also on the rail, which I think is a tough spot here in this size field.
Yeah, I mean,
with no
horse
speed.
doesn't have any speed, so it's going to get shuffled back, man. And I don't want to be shuffled back on the Keeneland dirt. That's the last thing I would want to happen, to be honest. That's why I think verifying is going to be so dangerous, Oldy.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it's really, for me, it may be a 3-8 exacta.
Yeah. I think 11 might run well, to be honest. I don't think this horse can win, but I think Mendelssohn's Mart's a little bit interesting for McPeak. Of course, Hernandez rides. That's not surprising. It's a brutal post. So this horse can't win, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this horse run well. It won that allowance race. It ended up winning that, the maiden first out, which is never easy. Goes from Fairgrounds to Oaklawn, tough allowance in a 64. I think this horse will get overlooked. Obviously, it'll take some money. I don't know if you'll get, I bet you get like 12 or 14 or 15 to 1 would be my guess.
But again, this is a route race at Keeneland from an 11 post on the dirt. And that was.
It can't win. I'm with you, but I would not be surprised to see this horse run well. So.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. It could get in the money. The question's going to be how it runs without Lasix as well.
Yep. Yeah, which it hasn't yet.
Yeah.
The interesting, they're adding blinkers on the 8. I didn't catch that when I looked at this earlier, but that's an interesting angle on the 8 horse. But I in a lot of these races, Oldie, I look at the GSR and then I just you can, in my opinion, you end up cutting so many of these, and then in a situation, to your point, like when you look at the Keeneland dirt, to me, that's where verifying just looked really tough. Just because this horse should sit a really good trip and has run well, right? I mean, it's not like this horse has run awful. I mean, and and again, I think this is awesome that Gaff gets the ride, and I think you're right. Good job, Buffalo Mike Scott, that Florent Drew is losing his top rides for Cox, But that's because, I mean, in my opinion, Gaff Leon's a better jock. So, I mean, he's probably going to continually do that. He lose rides. And in this case, right, he ends up on the McPeak horse. So, but McPeak never used Flo before. So that'll be interesting to watch, as if Florent Drew starts riding for McPeak to some extent.
Yeah, no, especially if he's staying in Kentucky for the Churchill meet too, which I think he typically does.
Yeah. All right. We will do. We might have time for one more Derby prep.
Now you might want to, as soon as we finish Santa Anita, you might want to switch to Aqueduct to watch your.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is, man, Funny How got bet to 2 to 1. I mean, I always have kind of a special spot for this horse, just because anytime you hit a big ticket like that, but gonna float up. The one thing I didn't get a chance to look at, Oldie, here was really to understand the pace. Katie's just does a great job for Handel, and so I would love to see this horse win a graded stakes. The problem when I saw this was just the pace, and I didn't get a chance to really look a lot at this race. But this horse, I mean, is obviously a nice horse, but has been running just an allowance, so is also having to step up as well.
Well, the 6 is the horse that I'm not the 6. The 2 is the horse that scares me there. It's won a grade 2.
Yeah.
It's been running against 80 plus SORs for, almost the entire 2022, coming off a layoff for Chad Brown.
Yep. All right. What'd you have here, Oldy?
And
I
off.
was 1, 2, 4.
Okay.
Looks rare. Golden Sombrero sprinting through on the inside. Blue Dog not far behind. Excel Calculator, Clooney, and Musino into the first turn, and it's Golden Sombrero. The pace prompted by
That's
Looks
awesome.
Rare, who's about a length and a half
Looks
back
rare.
now in second.
That's
Then
awesome.
I am annoyed that the
Dog
one
and
got bet
Excel
down so much.
Calculator on the rail, 3 off the lead, followed by Clooney in the green colors, and Musino is outside of him. It's a compact group, 4 lengths front to back. Golden Sombrero to catch. Leads it by
One was 6 to 1 on the morning line, bet down to 6 to 5.
A length and a half, Excel Calculator, and Blue
So obviously,
Dog
I thought I
side
was
by
sneaking
side,
one by
then
people there.
Musino and Clooney. 4.5 furlongs to go. Golden Sombrero leading the way with Looks Rare, keeping him company in second. A length and a half, Blue Dog at the rail. Excel Calculator now clearly into third. Then Clooney and Musino. They're heading to the 3/8 pole. Golden Sombrero, a half length to Looks Rare. The stablemates have been 1-2 throughout. Tracked by Excel Calculator, who's had a good
Excel
trip in
Calculator.
third. Behind
Get
him,
out.
Clooney inching up down at the rail. Blue Dog 3 wide.
We're gonna
Musino
run past
trailing a
20.
quarter of a mile to go. It's Golden Sombrero and Looks Rare on even terms.
Yeah,
at the top of
3's
the
going to
stretch.
win.
Clooney has room down on the inside. Then Excel Calculator and Blue Dog. They're in the final furlong. And it's Golden Sombrero. Very
Two
tenuous
rolling,
advantage. Clooney trying to
come
get
on,
by
two.
him. And here he comes. Clooney gathering in
Nope.
momentum. It's Clooney, Golden Sombrero.
Oh.
Clooney.
Yeah,
will
I'm
get
out.
there. Clooney nicely handled by one.
That was a good ride by JJ.
Yeah.
We can listen to this Aqueduct race. The 7th. 5-2.
Three up. Rosa Veloce. Funny how. Mama's got to run. Goes in. All set for the distaff. And they're off.
Whoa.
Very awkward break there.
Well, there goes your pace.
That was wild, bro. I don't know what happened.
I think the jockey almost fell off.
So it's up on the outside, 3 wide. Then Funny How. Also trying to run up as Mama's got to run. There's no choice to be 5 wide. Rosa Veloce 6 wide. Rosa Veloce after the start is working her way to the front. She's very wide on the racetrack. A tough trip so far. The trailer is easy to bless. 4 across the racetrack in the distaff as they approach 4 furlongs left to go. 20.
Yeah, that 6 is much the best.
Quarter mile to the inside. It's Gerrymander. Hydra is in between horses. Rosa Veloce. Can she pull it off? She's 6-5. Mama's Gotta Run is right in behind these leaders, is ready to pounce. Also trying to run on is Benaviglioso, and Funny How is dropped down to the rail, is now 3 off the lead. At the back gets Easy to Bless. An oncoming Mama's Gotta Run makes it 4 across the racetrack. Hydra is still in for the fight. Rosa Veloce. Gerrymander is dropping back a touch at the rail. They reach the top of the stretch.
Okay, you gotta go outside. Get outside.
It's Mama's Gotta Run. Rosa Veloce. Hydra. Funny How is getting loose late. Mama's Gotta Run is now sprinting.
Gonna get up for second.
She's gonna try to win. She's not gonna get there though.
16th pole. Mama's Gotta Run. Funny How running out of time. Mama's Gotta Run wins the distaff. It's Mama's Gotta Run over Funny How. A
little bit of a tough trip. She's like racing in between so much of that race, but Mama Gotta Run. That's the EquinEdge long shot.
Yeah.
All right, Oldy. Let's talk Keeneland race 8. The 9 horse looks to be the favorite, if I'm seeing this correctly. You like the 4 here. I know we talked about that horse. I thought the 3 and 8 were the price horses. Both ended up taking money.
Yeah.
3 taking quite a bit. Dude in Colorado, though, with Irad, going to be a tough post out there, but, 3-1 as well.
And the 4 took a little bit of money too.
You're right. It has 9-1. Me, Hermano Ramon, the 6 horse. What a great name. I wonder, I'd be curious. Oh, it's a Red Baron farm horse. Interesting. I'd be curious on who that's named after. That's cool. The 18%. Go ahead, Oldy.
I'm 3, 4, 8, 9, 12 here.
3, 4, 8, 9, and 12. Yeah. Oh, I guess I totally forgot, man. We're still alive.
Yeah.
You are 3, 4, 8, 9, 12. There is your ticket. I think I only used 2 horses.
I thought you were 3, 8. Yeah.
3, 8 here. Was hoping to get that bomber 6 in the last race. Didn't happen, but there was no 3, so that's a good thing. These are the only 2 I really liked here. The 12 can win, the 7 could win. Only I know the 4 could win, I'm sure, taking some money. I thought some of these others, just when I looked, I didn't think were much. This is a great race, though, for a grade 3. We had back-to-back grade. We had grade 3 at the Big A, Oldie, and now another grade 3 at Keeneland. So
it's a grade 3 party.
Ron, good luck, buddy. I'm glad you stopped by. Ron hit a good, I think it was a pick 5 somewhere last weekend, Oldie.
Yeah, Ron's a good handicapper. He's been part of our group for a long time. Dating back to the original group on Facebook.
Yeah.
Back like 2 years ago, I would say.
Yeah.
Joey too. Joey's another guy. And guys, please hit the like for us, the like button.
GP pick 6. It was on mandatory day. That's right, Ron. That was nicely done, man. I saw some people who play some gigantic tickets that hit that, but you had a much more budget friendly ticket. So kudos to you. Joey said, OG. It's true.
Yep.
Oldy, I'm watching the Keeneland feed here, and it reminds me when you and I were there, and I remember being there, and you had all these. A lot of the college students were coming out to the track and stuff. It's such a great place, and it's packed there today.
As you'd expect on opening day. I mean, it's a little cold out there, but I can't imagine the sport would be in trouble if Keeneland wasn't packed on opening day. Especially in Kentucky.
Chris Walsh just said Farley's an OG, Oldie.
the quote machine himself.
It's a must visit, Scott. I ended up, I'm like, I got to go. And Oldy actually drove down and met me. We hung out for a couple days, and it's probably, I love Del Mar. I think Del Mar is just, it mainly be, I love the ocean. And it's like, the track sits on the ocean, and it's great food. It's a great atmosphere. I just think, I have not been to Saratoga. A lot of people are like, you gotta go to Saratoga, but Oldy, it was a fun time, and it's a great track.
Yeah, and it's really nice, I would say, and the people who have never been to Arlington and never will won't get this, but it was not as nice as Arlington, and that's where it didn't meet my expectations from what I had heard about Keeneland. That it's Keeneland, Saratoga, and Arlington is what people a lot of times say is the 3 nicest track, or were experience-wise.
Dude in Colorado looks good. If anybody likes the 12 a lot, I'm just watching we can't show the races, so sorry y'all. But yeah,
we got 3 minutes. Do we want to talk the Wood or the Santa Anita Derby?
Yeah, we can do it. Hold on. Let me jump over. Trying to find, here we go. You tell me, which one do you want to talk?
I thought the Santa Anita Derby was pretty chalky looking. So how about the wood?
This race, I think, yeah, that's fine. This race, like I never trust anybody in this race, to be honest. I am curious to see the work report here, Oldy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Where did you land?
I mean, this was really tough. So if the 13 was in like post 5,
Yeah.
that probably would be my choice here. But just top win, top E pick, Cox horse, grade 3 winner at surface and distance. Outside post is the issue. The 7, who's the E long shot, I have a negative note on of may prefer game effort, likely wants a 1-turn mile, and now it's staying at 9 furlongs. So, I expect this horse to get the lead. I expect it to run well, but I expect it to get caught at the end. I think the 5's really interesting. Blew the break in the Gotham, but I think if this horse breaks, this horse could be really dangerous here. Breaking from the middle, not needing the lead, and could run on. The horse that's the real, let's say wild card here is the 1, Dreamlike, that the system really likes at 12%. It's a 78 GSR gun runner, Fletcher Maiden. So they must think something here, and the system must see something that it's 12% in the second choice here.
Mm-hmm.
And, you look at that, you raise your eyebrow a little bit when the system's, when 2 things in the system are telling you to watch out for this horse. Inside post as well at Aqueduct as well. So that was interesting. The other Pletcher that interested me again is stuck in an outside post at the 11 post. So those were, in my mind, the contenders. I thought the 2 might have a little look. Shadow Dragon as well, ran in the Holy Bull, didn't run in the Fountain of Youth. Has a nice post, is 6%, but I think needs a pace meltdown.
I wouldn't be surprised to see it, man. I really wouldn't. Keeneland's about to go. We'll come back here in a minute, y'all. Dude in Colorado about to load in. Good luck, Oldy. I'm 3-8. You have
3, 4, 8. Hold on, 3. Help if I could ever remember anything.
Utilities, Transylvania. There's most
3, 4, 8, 9, 12.
Justice there to his inside of the opening strides. They were joined by Mayor Mono Ramon in between horses. Dude in Colorado is going to be wide onto the far turn, just outside of Nagarok, and that pair both looking for some better position into the far turn, but struggling to find it here early on. Mustache has the lead, is already locked onto the rail, leads it by just a length as they move midway on the turn. Dude in Colorado, a lane off the rail now in.
There was a Chad Brown horse in this race that scratched out too.
4th up on his outside. Wonderful Justice toward the rail off the first turn and up the back stretch in 5th. Candidate 6th. Freedom Trail 7th. Mo Visitor between horses 8th, and the winner is a wide 9th up the back stretch. Web Slinger is in 10th, and Rarefied Flare last of 11:23.69 seconds for the opening quarter. Mustache, the leader, leads it by almost a full length. Dude in Colorado 2nd by just a length. The Hermano Ramon 3rd by a neck. And then Nagarok, who's 4th up on the outside. The first half mile went in 48.41 seconds. Onto the far turn, Mustache, the leader, still leads at 3/4 of a length. And then Dude in Colorado 2nd by a length. Nagarok 3 wide in the 3rd. Followed by Candidate, angles wide from the 4th spot. Mi Hermano Ramon is in 5th, and the winner is still 7 lengths from the lead. They turn for home. Here's Dude in Colorado right alongside of Mustache, and here's Nagarok to join them. Mi Hermano Ramon is 4th and looking toward the rail. Mustache has the lead. Nagarok is 2nd. Mustache by a length. Nagarok going to take aim another time. Final 16th. Running
Not going to get there.
Mustache. Luis Saez to win the Kentucky Utilities Transylvania. It was Nagarok home second, then Webslinger came from far back. And
that's EquinEdge long shot.
Yeah, that was the Victoria Oliver horse. This time she was using Sias.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. You're right. Yeah, Mustache took money. A little. Oh, I guess no 6-1, so not much. 13%. They never looked like they were going that fast, and like, so I guess that doesn't surprise me. Even
they let the horse relax the second quarter.
And the third quarter, man. I mean, it ran that in 25-2. The third quarter. I mean, the second quarter ran nearly 25. Yeah, I mean, that's why that horse wired the field. I mean, yeah, the 8 was keen the whole race, man. It was like just tugging and tugging and tugging. With the slow fractions made that really tough. So, I am not playing a golden hour, Daniel, because I have not looked at any of it, so that would not help you. Oldy, 1 minute till Gulfstream, but we're gonna skip that. Let's go back to the wood.
What did you think here?
Hold on, I gotta get back. Did I? Hold on, I gotta pull back. Is it what race was it? 11th? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, here was my perspective. So the way I looked at this, Oldie, I was like, pace is going to melt. I thought the one was interesting. So here's a lot of times I'm like, you're gone. I don't like this Linda Rice horse. And then, I looked here. I'm like, I'm not going to use you. I saw that I looked at the Slip Mahoney horse a little bit, I think, from the GSR perspective, Oldie. I ran in the Gotham, ran a respectable second. I mean, that's a big field, right? Off slow. My guess is you have to completely forgive this race, right?
Yeah.
So if you do that and say this horse ran a respectable 7th, even though lost by 7 lengths, wide, this horse 100% could improve. So, I think that horse is a player. I'm not a fan of 13 at all. From a GSR, I look here. I would not, Mr. Banker, no. So I ended up kind of Oldie. So when I looked here, I'm like, okay, is the pace going to completely melt down? I think the 5 could for sure sit the trip. Dreamlike, I totally agree with you. This horse is meant like it's obviously hasn't broken its maiden, but they're shipping here. They think it can win. They're giving up the money in a maiden to directly win a great race, so it's probably worth it. I wouldn't bet this horse to win, but obviously it's not a tough field. I wasn't really a fan of. I know you talked.
You're showing the wrong screen again.
Oh, I wasn't really. No, you're good. Thanks for telling me. I wasn't really a fan of Classic Catch at all. Like, I mean, mainly the post out there. I think there's a nice horse, but I think it's going to be very tough. You talked a little bit about Shadow Dragon. I thought, between the 5, I thought was the horse that was the most interesting to me, just because I think the speed will stop, and I think this horse could sit the trip, and I think it's really well bred. Outside of that, Oldie, the only other horse I found interest was the same angle that you talked about on the one was the 9 horse. From the same situation. This horse, it raced in the Risen Star. They really, really, with Fletcher, is this, so this is a Rapoli horse too, right? So I was kind of curious here, Oldie. I'm like, what are they up to? But this horse is another horse that has no speed, right? But this is a situation where I would not be surprised to see in the wood, like, just a really ugly race. And that this horse, this is the horse I want to see the workout report on, Oldie. Third off, like a minor layoff. It had a 2-year-old campaign, which it never got up. Very tough maiden special races at Saratoga and Aqueduct. So when I looked here, I'm like, hey, you're a little bit interesting. You were the favorite. You burned some money. But, and then here, I looked at this slow start, Oldie. I'm like, man, this horse just doesn't break well. So I thought in a similar situation at the 1, the 9 might be interesting. So I was looking at the 5 and 9 predominantly, but outside that, Oldy, I didn't see a lot here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for me, in most cases, the best horses here, or at least best, are either in outside posts or wanting to run late. So that's why I really, I think Slip Mahoney has some tactical speed. Just throw out the blown break, and that horse I think is really dangerous here.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I mean, you're probably gonna get 5 to 1 or something. I think for Dylan Davis, great for him. It's Brad Cox. Obviously, uses him in key situations when you see that. But this is a big tell to me, Oldie. Yeah. I mean, just this horse is bred well, and if you toss this race, I'm not sure anybody can beat this horse. If it sits a good trip, I mean, it was on the 1 post here and ends up winning, going 1 turn, so was the favorite. Like, I'm a little bit surprised that this horse was only like 6 to 1, and then you end up with the 1 horse that was 7 to 2. But I don't know. I mean, the 1 horse, obviously, they think that horse is going to run, but at the same time, right, it was pretty crazy, Oldie, when you were talking about that, and then you have this other Fletcher, right? They have 2 maidens here that they ship in, and I thought this horse was interesting. I mean, being a Rapoli horse too. So, they're in New York, put the horse here, like, see what happens. Like, it's obviously a nice horse though. So whether it can win, I just thought it was really interesting.
I will say the other thing to note on the 1 is that Jose Ortiz is coming in to ride it. And he probably had the choice of riding the 2 because he rode that last time out.
Yeah, well, he's rode back to back for Mont, and he rides for Mont. So I think to your point, I mean, that's valid. I'm glad you said that. I mean, he's trying to get this horse to get a Derby mount. I don't know if he has another mount at this point, but
maybe this horse needs the lead. I don't know. And if it does, maybe, and it gets into the Derby, maybe it's the rabbit for Forte.
Yeah, it's totally valid, man. There's the Rapoli. You see the same thing again. So I'm sure you're right there, Oldie. I wouldn't be. And in a situation like this, it's going to show some speed here. You have this other maiden. You have these 2 maidens. One going to be on the front end, one going to be on the back end.
No, definitely. And Scott, yeah, I know the Wood winner rarely wins the Derby.
Yeah, I don't see that happening this year.
Yeah, I don't see any Derby winners in here.
Bill, I don't, this horse is only 19% from that post, and at the same time, I mean, it's bred well. It's going to run, right? Manny rides for Cox, but
not from that post.
I think it's going to be tough, man. I really do. And ends up here in the Wood. I mean,
run up from the, and is that an also eligible? I mean, we can't tell from here, but that could be an also eligible too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And look at the where the start finish line is compared to the first turn. And you're either going to have to either drop back further than you want, or try to go to the lead, or you're going to be caught 4 or 5 wide.
Yeah. I mean, this horse is probably going to drop back, right? But, that's still going to be tough. It's going to have to really find the right path and everything. That's my main concern, Bill.
Yeah.
That would be, I mean, I don't disagree. Horse likes to track. It's probably one of the best horses in the race, but that's going to be a brutal trip. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. The other question is going to be the weather tomorrow. Because I think some of these horses did not enjoy the Gotham when it was wet.
Yeah, is it supposed to rain tomorrow?
I've not checked.
Yeah.
Let me look right now, but I've not checked Aqueduct tomorrow.
Oakland would be that'd be a good visit, Joey. I have not been there. I've heard great things though. See, dry and hot. All right, Scott. Good to know. Scott said it's gonna be dry and hot. Oh, Keeneland. Okay. It's supposed to get sunny and warm in Lexington.
51 and partly cloudy.
Nice. Okay.
No rain.
Well, good.
Do we want to take a quick look at the Santa Anita Derby? Well, we got 3 minutes.
Or I have to go fast because I got a 2 p.m. meeting. So,
okay. And actually, I have a call coming in too for work.
All right, let's skip it just so I can hop off. It was a pleasure though, man. I'm glad we get to cover some Keeneland. I think your ticket's still live to Wonder Wheel.
Nope, I died, but I did not have the 7 in either.
Yeah,
we both missed there.
Mustache went gate to wire. So, but it's a pleasure, buddy. It was fun. With some great racing today. You will be back next Friday. I will not. I will be in Florida, enjoying Fort Lauderdale Beach and live music. If anybody's going to be at Tortuga, I will be there. But it was a pleasure, man. It was fun. I'm glad we got a chance to watch some Keeneland and, also at the same time play some Gulfstream.
Yeah, great time. I love doing the show. Thank you for everybody who shows up and, is in the chat. And don't forget there's a Scotty Coast to Coast tomorrow. So we'll also be in the chat for that as well. I don't know if you have baseball tomorrow, but my daughter's got practice from 9 to 3, so I'll have some free time on my hands.
Cool, man. It's good to see you. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We always appreciate it. Good luck tomorrow at Keeneland or Aqueduct, Santa Anita. It's going to be great racing. Thanks to everybody. Oldy, it's a pleasure. Have a good weekend. Happy Easter to everybody, too.
Happy Easter, everybody. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thanks, all.
All right.